I am
As if we
now recording for the S.E.E.S 15. Woohoo.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
That's not real. Anyway,
Well,
um, oh shit! Wait, no, I forgot Hideaki Itsuno does exist.
Hideaki Itsuno does exist. He's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's my god. I would worship him.
He's Hideaki Itsuno's the kind of guy that like if I ever saw him at a bar, I would buy a drink, then go over to him and I'd be like, "Hey man, I don't even know if you like this, but here you go." And he'd be
Yeah,
like, you just know even if he hated it, he'd be like, "Oh, thank you."
he'd be thankful for it.
He'd be like, "Aren't you just swell?" And I'd be like, "Oh, thanks, buddy."
But yeah, so are we gonna go right into it and let our friends come in later, or are we gonna wait a little bit longer?
I say we get to it. I'm down to talk
Right.
about it. Also, some of you may be watching this and being like, "Why the fuck is he playing Call of Duty Black Ops 2 instead of like Bayonetta or something?" Uh,
Because we're
because I feel like it. That's why.
also because we're boycotting Bayonetta, don't you know?
Oh yeah, we're boycotting Bayonetta. That's right. So
Um,
I guess we'll start out just kind of going over the timeline of events because it seems like the place to start.
of course, of course, of course.
So yeah, let me pull up on my phone since I got Discord on my computer, all nice and good looking. I got the whole timeline and
Not as good
everything.
looking as you.
And of course, we are going to watch, um, watch together the videos that Helena Taylor posted. We're gonna go through this in order.
Ah, shit. So, all right, I'll pull up the watch together.
Blue, stop spamming fucking chat with Trigun gifs and shit.
No.
Other people have it. You don't want to bug them. Oh yeah, we have guests
This is.
coming.
Oh God, you spoiled it, hell.
You already mentioned it though.
I didn't mention nothing. You're crazy.
You, you are incorrect on the first thing and correct on the second thing.
Anyway,
So, oh yeah, I should click on that. Lickety click clack. Coming for
this
that
is going to
rack.
be this is going to be a fun topic to talk about because for once I get to lay into somebody without the prospect of having to hold back.
What the fuck?
Morning, Janice.
Why are these ads having volume when I muted it? God damn it. There we
I
go.
don't. I don't know.
Anyways, I have the fuck.
I also have the fuck.
I
It's pretty nice.
I too have the fuck. Let me. All right, I'm gonna tuck away Discord for a second here on the visual, and then I'm gonna go over to this little thingy right up here I got.
God, you don't have the video completely ready by the time you start recording. How unprofessional!
I mean, it's not like I posted it in the chat for you to go ahead and use, but since we're here,
Oh well, see, I thought I was under the impression that you were gonna grab it. No, it's okay, Al. I got
oh,
it.
there
I
you go.
got it.
Oh wait,
No,
no,
I went back in the chat. I got it.
that's good because I actually sent a link to the Discord server that I had, and that's my server. Stay out.
Fucking. Oh, this is such a mess. It's such a beautiful mess.
We're so good at our
So,
job.
first things first, we have this video by the lovely Hellena Taylor. Shall we just
So
let it play or talk about it a little bit first?
so wait, hold on, let me actually pull it up. But I'm going to talk about it a bit. Oh God, what the fuck? Why is it all? OBS, why are you doing this to me? I had Watch Together set up to look all perfectly fine and peachy, and you just had to go and do this. Why are you going to do this to me?
Bro, just download Streamlabs.
No, I don't want to.
Yeah, that's a good
Why
idea.
not? Because I don't want to.
It's also the inferior version of OBS.
Oh, got him. Some people run it simultaneously.
What? They
Yeah,
run Streamlabs and OBS simultaneously? Why would you?
I know that.
You could.
I know EFAP does.
Why?
Or I know they run Streamlabs. I assume they run OBS also.
Huh. Why would you not
Uh,
just run the open source one?
This is what a mess. What a mess this is. Oh no. I gotta crop it and stuff now. Why you gotta play me like? Oh wait, I know exactly what. I didn't do the thing I always do. Whoopsie poopsie. See, we're really good at this, is what I'm getting at.
We are professionals. Uh, me less so than L, but you know.
It's not giving yourself you're not being too kind to yourself in saying that.
You've done this for longer than I have.
That is correct, probably.
Well, you know, it's probably sound. I don't fucking know.
Okay, wait, hold on. I'm gonna get this. Wait. Oh. Is that? Oh, just a little bit too much. There we go. I'm doing
God,
this.
that frame that it's paused on and watched together, there's just something so smug about the way her face looks in that
It's not
frame.
the most flattering. I'll say that.
Like she's got this she's got this aura like she's almost like holding back a smirk. Hey, shut the fuck up. I didn't ask you, speaker.
no one asked you. Silence, wench. Let me pull my little keyboard here. Let me just do it.
Yeah, there's just something about that frame where she looks like she's holding back some kind of smirk and I hate it. Again, that's entirely me projecting a little bit, but you know. Given what we're going to talk about, it might be just slightly true.
Fucking S.E.E.S guys projecting and shit. Disgusting.
Bro, just grab a projector or some shit. I don't know. I don't teach college.
What is this, Kino der Toten? We're not in the movie theater. Get that projector out of here.
Oh no.
Kino's pretty cool. That's a cool map.
Kino is pretty Kino, as they say.
It is pretty Kino. That's true.
See what I did there?
So, anyways, beyond us being complete fucking idiots, so what happened was here's a little timeline of events we're gonna give. So, September 23rd, 2021, Bayonetta 3 finally gets a trailer. It'd been announced already, but they're finally like, "Hey, here's a trailer. You get to see Bayo doing cool stuff," and everyone's really happy about it. But partway through the trailer, yeah, it was fucking awesome. Had Phantom in that trailer. It was really cool. So fans are pretty excited, but they notice something partway through the trailer, and they're like, "Oh, wait a minute, what's this voice going on here? There's a little bit of a different voice here. That's not Hellena Taylor. Oh my goodness, that's weird. What's going on there?" And so fans take to Twitter because you know it's pretty much it's the most immediate way to contact her. That's fair. So fans contacted her. They're like, "Hey, what's going on? Are you not voicing Bayonetta this time?" And she responded, "I'm not voicing Bayonetta. I was not approached for the role. You know, I wish Jennifer Hale, because I think it had been announced at this point that she was the new voice.
I believe so.
She wishes her the best." And I was like, okay. Some fans are like, I'm gonna miss Hellena Taylor, but whatever, you know, happens. Recastings, it, you know, everything seems amicable. But then,
boy, how we were wrong.
We got another trailer about a year later. I don't remember what year this, or what year. I remember the year. It was this one, the year of our Lord, 2022.
Oh no.
It was sometime in early October. I don't know. Early this month. Got a new trailer for Bayonetta. And it was at this point that Hellena Taylor, on October 15th, 2022, the year of our Lord.
Stop saying that.
No. Decided she had something to say. And we're going to watch the whole thing, because it's only like 8 minutes. And then we're going to watch it. We're going to talk about it, and then we're going to watch it back and talk about little things here and there, because this series of videos, oh man, if you're not in the loop, it it started a shitstorm. Wow.
Hey, Psychonautic, you're just in time.
That was like the most perfect timing ever. Holy shit.
Told you I'd be about an hour, and I got a couple hours here, something like that, so I can stay for a bit.
It's also
where are we at in this? I'm joining late, so
well, funny enough, we were pretty much just starting because we like to dick around and waste time.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Good.
But and we're really good at it, and we wanted to wait for someone. Also, this is like my first time actually talking to you. Hello. It's nice to meet you.
I'm here.
Yeah, what's up? What's up? I don't think we talked, or did we talk in? I can't remember if we've been in VC and near server. No, I don't remember. But
Oh, wait.
regardless,
We have. That's true. Well, you know what? This is the canonical first time. So this
this
is outside.
the first time on screen.
Yeah, this is outside the fan fiction.
So
Um,
this isn't the actual canon. It's not the expanded universe.
Yeah, that's right. Not the Discord universe.
You'll just click that there watch together link. It'll bring you to a little room where
Well,
we can
yeah,
all
let's
watch
go.
them.
So yeah, I was basically just giving a little timeline of events. September 23rd, 2021, the year of our Lord. Bayonetta 3 got its first significant trailer because it had a little teaser. It had already been announced. But then it got its first trailer. People were like, "Oh, Hellena, that's not your voice. What's going on?" She said, "I wasn't approached. I'm not going to voice it. I hope the best for the new voice actress." And everything seemed fine. Fans were like, that's kind of lame, but oh well, new voice act. It's Jennifer Hale. She's really good. Then Bayonetta 3 got another trailer earlier this month, and not long after that, Hellena Taylor had some stuff to say. And we're gonna watch it once. We're gonna give some comments, and then we're just gonna go from there. That's the plan.
All right, fair.
Luce, I'll leave the pause in your control.
Oh God, I've got too much power.
Oh,
Power.
You're typically. Oh wait, I gotta unmute it. Hold on, rewind.
And I would like to explain to you.
This fucking guy.
Oh.
Hello, my name's Hellena Taylor, and I am the voice of Bayonetta, and I would like to explain to you why I didn't voice Bayonetta 3. The Bayonetta franchise made an approximated $450 million. That's not including merchandise.
Okay, so hold on.
An actor,
Wait, no. So it's actually more than we thought earlier. We thought it was 450K, but she just said 450 million.
No, that's what I was saying. She said it was $500 million.
Oh,
I don't
thought
know
you were
how
saying having
accurate
more.
that number is, though.
So I looked this up earlier. Bayonetta 1 and 2, at least in their opening years, like a year after Bayonetta 2 had released, collectively they made about 100 million. So hey, maybe not the most accurate source. I don't really know, but
Well, I'll just give my piece here since I am here. A lot of what I know surrounding this whole situation came from Griffin, like Griffin Gaming streams and stuff. If not, regardless of if you watch him. So when he was listening to this back, I don't remember when it was. I remember he went and looked up the sales numbers and did the math. I don't remember what number he came out with, but I remember and he's pretty business savvy too, and he was saying that was some utter bullshit coming from her based on what he could find. So take it with a grain of salt. I'm not saying it's the most liable source, but that's what I heard.
I mean, yeah, it sounds. Because, unless you're counting Smash Bros., I'm sorry, I have no idea how the fuck Bayonetta is making $500 million.
Yeah,
it's a pretty niche franchise, all things considered.
I'd say so. I knew about it, but I had never played it, and I know this whole controversy has gotten a lot more eyes on the franchise as a whole.
Yeah. Bayonetta 1, I can see making a lot of money because it was on, every platform in existence. Bayonetta 2 came out on the Wii U, and then it came out later on the Switch. Now, the Switch is obviously a great selling console, but with how limited it is in its availability as far as, platforms, I just don't see this franchise making $500 million off of 2 games and an animated movie. Unless you're telling me the animated movie's worth $350 million.
Yeah, I don't see it either. It just, the number feels way too inflated.
Yeah.
It feels like gross income before the actual taxes and stuff have been applied, for net income.
That's the thing. She might also just be speaking from ignorance here, or could have done some of the math wrong. Plus that, we don't know that side of it, but given how she's handled the rest of the situation, I'm not sure if I want to give her that benefit of the doubt personally.
Also, given everything that's come out from her and what we've been able to imply about her recently, something about her mentioning its worth in terms of money right off the bat, it just rubs me the wrong way.
I'd have to say, especially with how she virtue signals nurses and stuff as this goes on in this video. I remember that. the way she presents herself and like her stance on it seems very victimizing of herself, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it seems more like what she thinks it's worth rather than what it like actually made.
Yeah.
So,
Which, like I said, she could be speaking from ignorance there, but I don't know if I want to give her that benefit of the doubt.
yeah.
I'm just putting it on the table more so.
That's fair.
As an actor, I trained for a total of 7.5 years. 3 years at the London Academy of Music and Dramatic Art, LAMDA, with voice coach Barbara Barkery, and 4.5 years with the legendary Larry Moss in Los Angeles.
Also, this video is very quiet. I apologize to any viewers who are like, holy shit, I have to turn this up, but her audio quality, I
Well-
mean, she's just recording off what I assume is her phone camera, so the audio quality's kind of shit.
Yeah. Now I have to
Yeah.
ask, out of my own ignorance, who the fuck is Larry Moss?
I don't know anybody she listed. I don't follow these things that quite
Here,
that
I'll go
closely.
ahead. I'll go ahead. And
Let me
look him
give
up.
it a
He's legendary.
let me give it a go. I'm gonna do the good old Google search. That's
Me
what I'm
That
gonna
would
do.
be a smart thing to do.
Larry Moss, actor. Okay, we're off to a good start.
Larry Moss
What's
is
his
known
What's
for
his bibliography? This is a lot of stuff that I don't. The only thing I recognize right now is okay. No, he's been in a few things. He was in Beauty and the Beast, Wolf of Wall Street. He was in Happy Feet. Ooh, Aviator. So okay, he's been around the block.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
then
so he's got a bit under his belt, I would say, from the looks of
Jaws the
what I'm seeing.
Revenge.
Jaws the
He was in
Revenge.
Jaws the Revenge.
I think my GF's gonna make me watch the Jaws sequels at some point because she fucking loves sharks and she's just like, these movies are stupid. You gotta watch them. I'm like, all right, cool.
Apparently, Larry Moss is very legendary. I don't know who the fuck he is, but
Yeah, I don't follow a lot of actors and stuff that closely, but apparently he's got quite a bit under his belt from the looks of it.
Yep.
And what did they think this was worth? What did they offer to pay me? The final offer to do the whole game as a buyout, a flat rate, was $4,000 US.
So that's an important detail.
it is.
We're gonna put a pin in that.
Yeah, this is pretty important, I'd say.
A flat buyout of 4,000 was the final offer for doing the whole game, voicing Bayonetta.
Yeah, that's her words.
And keep in mind, this is already after she's told us that she was never approached at all to be the voice of Bayonetta, which, of course, she would be under an NDA, so she couldn't say that. But, you know, it's one of those things where it's like, why would you wait until now?
Yeah,
to bring this up?
because, and she says it later on in the video, she basically says she doesn't care about the NDA, she wanted to get this out. So if we're going off of that insinuation, she's breaking an NDA to make this, so I don't, like, why now would be the question for that.
But yeah, the timing of it is all very peculiar to me too, because
It's
she
like,
waits till like the game's about to release to try and
Yeah.
sabotage the actual sales based on this whole victim story she tries spinning.
right.
Yes.
Which is not a good impression to give off when you're trying
Mhm.
to come off as someone who's, sticking up for fair pay of voice actors and all that stuff.
Yeah, I agree, because like I said, it comes off as just holier than thou, virtuous kind of shit.
Right.
This is an insult to me. The amount of time that I took to work on my talent and everything that I have given to this game and to the fans. I am asking the fans to boycott this game and instead spend the money that you would have spent on this game donating it to charity.
I feel like a lot of people like to use charity as a shield or as a way of being like, look at me, I'm the good man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, don't support this game, donate to charity instead. Like, all right, now you're making it now you're putting people in a situation of, oh, if they don't listen to you, they're bad people, and you can paint them up that way. And
Yeah.
people don't take kindly to that.
That's
No.
pretty much what I meant when I said it comes off as holier than thou kind of stuff, because it's like, don't pay for this game, you know, just because I'm not getting what I want in this situation means you shouldn't, you know, buy the game or support any of the other developers who put time, effort, and fucking, you know, months of work into this just because I didn't get the pay I wanted.
Or her
I
fellow voice
personally-
actors.
I
Yeah,
personally was wronged, therefore none of the people who worked on it deserve any kind of support whatsoever.
yeah. Which, given, you know, more recent information that's arisen about the whole payment situation, it comes off as even more dishonest and disingenuous in hindsight.
Yeah.
Oh
very
boy,
much so.
don't it.
I didn't want the world. I didn't ask for too much. I was just asking for a decent, dignified living wage.
You asked for 6 figures! Anyway.
Yeah.
But it was immoral.
This will be the second
Alright,
video.
so that was video 1. We are now moving on to video 2. You can tell because her hair changed.
Yeah. Also, I watched this when it came out, like not long after it was posted, with my girlfriend, who she hasn't played Bayonetta. She's not like invested in the games or anything. She likes Bayonetta, but that's about it. And we were watching this, and like the whole time, she just had this look on her face of like something's off about this, and she really does. It comes off even before, because like this was our immediate reaction, even before knowing all the stuff that came after. She's doing and I'm asking, the pause, the breath, the little voice crack here and there. Like
Being very dramatic.
it's pretty dramatic for something you're just recording, you know, in basically your own time where you don't have to include that. So when you do include that, it feels as if there's a purpose behind it.
I mean, she's kind of sensationalizing it. She's just being melodramatic.
Yeah.
So, yeah, gotta say, first of all, taking to Twitter for an issue like this, not a great first impression, because as we all know, Twitter is a fucking cesspool and nobody takes it seriously. So,
No, that part of it as well comes off to me as mostly just trying to incite an internet hate mob.
well, it also, here's the thing. Yeah, I kind of agree, but my takeaway, I suppose, is just that it feels as if she wanted to raise a stink with as little consequence as possible because she just posted it on Twitter. It's not like she took legal action. It's not like she got an interview with any kind of big gaming outlet. She just posted it on Twitter. It makes her look slightly more timid and cowardly.
I didn't really think of it like that either. That's a good angle as well because yeah, it's really petty. It's just like I saw it as her just trying to raise a hate mob, but that's true too. Like it's just a very petty option to take over anything else she could have done.
Yeah, for me, the thing that just it was really fishy about this was the fact that we're talking about a voice actress who is very relevant, given that the game, even before all this, given that the game that she used to be involved with is, you know, the next entry of it's coming out. She's not involved, and people were still kind of unsure of what was going on. She has $1 million net worth and could easily score an interview with fucking, you know, IGN, Kotaku, Forbes, whatever. She could very easily do that, but instead what she does is take to Twitter with what seems to be an appeal to very reactionary, knee-jerk reactionary people so that she can get an immediate, you know, siding, I guess I'll just call it.
Yeah.
Rather than just approaching and taking her time with it and being relatively neutral.
Yeah, because there's nobody on the internet who doesn't know that there will always be people who will staunchly take the side of whoever speaks first, no matter what.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about one of them later.
Yeah, I'll just say I'm glad that when this situation started to arise, I didn't immediately just jump on like one side or the other. I kind of waited. Like my only opinion was I don't really care to boycott the game just because you didn't get paid here. That was pretty much it. But I was
Yeah.
waiting for more of the actual facts to arise before I started judging either party. And I'm glad I did.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, me and Luce talked about it briefly because this happened like the day before or a couple of days before my one of my Bayonetta 2 streams. So I was like, well, this will be fun to talk about. And yeah, we talked about the details and we basically just said if it, if this seems fishy, but if Hellena Taylor, if what she says is true, then yeah, she deserves better. Voice actors deserve better. If she's not telling the whole truth, always going to blow up in her face.
It really is. Because if she's not telling the truth, like, first of all, this entire thing is not good for voice actors as a whole either,
Oh no.
despite what anybody might think, because now now there's the risk of more and more companies being way more reticent when it comes to hiring people and how much they want to offer people in terms of pay. Especially considering the fact that there are voice actors who sometimes work without even getting credited for that matter. So I'm just wondering what effect this is going to have on the landscape of voice acting as a whole.
It could even
Because I don't think it's going to be a positive one.
it could even run deeper than that. Like they might start including in contracts that they can take certain legal action if you decide not only to break an NDA but to slander the company in any way because you feel that you have some kind of personal objection to your pay rate or anything to do with your career.
I mean, yeah,
That's
this pretty much does come off as slandering them in the long run. Like, oh, they underpaid me, they're disingenuous fucks when, you didn't even give the full details of the actual negotiations you had.
Yeah.
And you
That's
lied
not-
about how much they were actually trying to pay you, etc. It's all a shitty situation.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that'll affect any. I mean, it's definitely going to kill her career, but I don't know how it'll affect anyone else's in the future.
Oh
In the
yeah.
long run.
Apparently she's planning on going into theater, which it's like, all right, I mean, yeah, you clearly wanted to go out with a bang, I guess, so you just decided to burn the whole damn bridge behind you.
Burn the whole fucking. She nuked that thing.
She sure fucking
She turned that thing into Nuketown is what she did.
But yeah, that's the main thing I'm worried about. I'm just worried about voice actors and all that bullshit because she might have just made things worse for everybody.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, those of you who follow me on Twitter know that I'm more of a lover than a fighter, and
I go fuck yourself. I'm gonna be
I
honest.
love fighting.
I don't
That's
really,
what she meant.
I don't have much to say. I don't have much to say other than your actions speak louder than your words, and
That just I was not expecting that.
Yeah, she's a lover, not a fighter. A lover of money.
she sure is.
Sure fucking is. But hey, guys, I mean,
sometimes
come
I'm
on.
not very much.
She just wants fair pay.
Uh-huh, yeah. It's
Six
funny.
figures.
Well, I should also say, like, yeah, the whole like Jason Schreier with Bloomberg report came out talking about her asking for six figures. It's just funny to me how she does not mention how much she asked for, which when we talked about it before in my Bayonetta stream, I did say it would probably be a mistake to say that she asked for X amount because that would run the risk of her sounding unreasonable, even if she was completely in the right. But when people start saying you asked for this, that's the time where you want to say, no, actually, this is how much I asked for. I can show you the fucking emails or whatever and anything. I asked for, X amount. Sure. Maybe it was like 100,000. I don't know.
Yeah,
But the fact
some
that
some sort of receipts there.
yeah, but the fact that she's still keeping it close to her chest because she denies the like $250,000 claim, but she doesn't correct it, tells me, did she ask for more? Like, holy shit.
She also doesn't deny it being in six figures either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because it's not 250K, which that's 10. Isn't that over 10 times what they originally offered her? Didn't they originally actually offer like 20,000 or something?
So
Close. They offered-
apparently it was between $3,000 and $4,000 for about what was
For
it?
each session. Yeah.
with a minimum of 5 sessions, and then
Okay.
she went to Kamiya, the director of the game, and he offered her 5,000 more.
apparently.
Okay. Jesus.
Apparently,
She wasn't even getting like fucking underpaid. Like fuck, that's not that bad.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
like, because think about it, 5 recording sessions. If I was to be generous, I would say 8 hours per session, but I don't really know as far as that how that works with voice acting. But let's say it was 8 hours per session. That's 40 hours. That's 1 work week. You get $20,000, or even lowballing it to 15,000. Like, man, I'd fucking kill to do 1 week of work for $15,000.
For me, even if the $4,000 thing was true and it's a 40-hour work week, who the hell is going to make that much money in a work week? Like the average worker is not going to make that. That's far above average pay.
Yeah.
So even if it was a full work week and it was only 4,000, that's sure it might be lowballing it for a voice actor. I could agree that she deserves more than 4,000, but that's still like a month's worth of fucking pay and more.
Oh yeah.
I'll be right back. I gotta grab some water. My throat's drying up.
All right,
No problem.
but yeah, that whole part comes off as really disingenuous. Just
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, this entire situation just rubs me the wrong way personally. We've said it multiple times, but
it did for me too. But like I said, I waited for more information to come out before I really started judging either side. I didn't like how she presented herself, and it came off as like I've already said, virtuous, holier than thou kind of stuff. Like,
yeah,
especially when she starts bringing up like the nurses and shit later on in one of these videos.
Yeah, she definitely. There's definitely some kind of combative, like, air about her. Where
Yeah, it's very passive aggressive.
yeah,
Like, there's an undertone of aggression and malice to everything she says and does, while she presents it as if she's, like, taking a moral grandstand on everything, right?
mm-hmm. And of course, there's never a point where her story is 100% consistent. Like,
No, yeah, there's a lot of flipping the narrative, too. Flipping the script.
There's almost no consistent details whatsoever.
Yeah.
So this is completely unrelated, but Mom's birthday was yesterday. And she got cake from her workplace because she's a nurse, and nurses just look out for each other like no other. Came over.
As they should.
She came over, brought me a couple slices, and oh goddamn, this is some yummy cake. This is some cool shit.
Damn. I'm gonna share.
Yeah, fucker. Did you bring it up for the whole class?
Well, Frogman got the long tongue. He can just go ribbit and get it.
Reach across the country to get cake.
As for Luz, you're just gonna have to show me them enormous chocolatey titties.
Yeah. All right.
Hey,
after the video, all right. Let's do it. It's too much for YouTube.
But
YouTube can't handle it. It's too hot.
It's got my memories are too large for this bandwidth. Anyway, back to cunt. There's just really no other way I can describe her after all this.
Now, those of you who follow me on Twitter know that I'm more of a lover than a fighter, and sometimes think I'm not very much like Bayonetta at all, but I guess I am a little bit more like Bayonetta than I thought.
Oh, for fuck! Shut up! Shut the fuck up! Oh my
I'm a hero. I'm the hero of this story.
This is the meme of Obama giving himself the medal, is what that is.
Just give me. I'm the hero of my own story.
Oh my god! Oh my god! It's funny because like, I had been keeping an eye on Twitter and everything, but I had never actually watched these videos yet because I wanted to be surprised, like I normally do. That was fucking hilarious.
Oh my god!
You pretentious cunt.
Also, I suppose it's worth saying, someone might hear this and think, "Wow, these sexist assholes calling her a cunt." Look, my girlfriend was the first one to call her a cunt, so it's free game as far as I'm concerned.
Nah.
I'll call a dude a cunt the same I'll call a chick a cunt. Don't matter to me.
That's
I ain't
true.
sexist there.
I called Under the Mayo a cunt plenty of times.
Exactly.
Being a cunt is not a gendered issue. If you're a piece of shit, you're a piece of shit.
Exactly. We're using it synonymously with calling them a fucking dirtbag piece of shit, whatever the fuck.
Correct. It's just slightly nicer.
Yep.
Indeed.
That being said, fuck Hellena Taylor.
I understand that boycotting this game is a personal choice, and there are those that won't, and that's fine.
But also,
way
you're a
she
piece of
said
shit.
The way she said that, right? Like, it was such a passive aggressive. Fine. Like,
don't donate to charity.
like you can tell. You can tell it's not fine, Helena. It's clearly not fine.
You can put your money. This is that like church thing of like, if you can't donate to us, that's perfectly fine. And then the person who donates like a significant amount, like everyone starts clapping and cheering for him, and you're just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, pretty much. Helena is the first person who would start clapping for herself because she would donate $20 and then clap for herself.
They're passing around like the offering like hat or whatever. She puts like a 50 in, and then she hands it over. She just starts going, "Oh, bravo me, bravo me."
Nah, she would put in
just like Bayonetta.
These are my halos.
She would put in $20, and then a clone of Helena would come behind her, wrap a medal around her neck.
Damn true though.
If you're someone who cares about people,
oh my fucking god. Did she say 5 words without pissing me off?
If you care about people, it's fine if you still buy the game. But if you care about people,
it's so the people who want to support everybody that put fucking 4 years of hard work, sweat, and tears, they don't care about people.
Yeah, fuck everyone that wasted their time and lives making this game. They don't want to see it become a success just because some fucking petty bitch like you isn't getting paid enough. Think of the people, guys. Think of the children.
If you still want to get the game, that's fine. Now, for those of you who aren't pieces of shit, wastes of skin, low life, lower than dirt cunts, I implore you. It's like, oh, okay. Anyways,
if you
think of the children.
If you still wish to buy the game, that's fine. Now for the non-white supremacists.
Oh my god.
Oh fuck.
Now for those who dislike Adolf Hitler.
There's just so many ways you can spin this. It's a fucking meme gold mine.
It really kind of is. Oh man.
Fucking douchebag. All right. Fucking hell.
Who cares about the world around you?
I'm glad I got to experience your first time seeing this.
You fucking beat! Don't pull that nonsense on us!
I've not watched all these videos in full. I've just watched other people streaming them, and I kind of zoned out throughout parts of them. So just hearing it all in full is cool.
How fucking dare you? Oh my god!
Those of you who aren't rapists, the one that I'm referring to now.
You know who you are, you filthy fucks.
If you wish to still buy the game, that's fine. Now for the people who didn't run the concentration camps. Oh my fucking god!
Now for the Brazilians whose last names aren't Stein, I would like to ask you.
Oh fuck! All right. Oh god, this is horrible. Like, in all seriousness,
think of the rest of the world, guys. Think about what you're doing.
This was really the point where it's like she's really trying to fabricate like an emotional.
You see what I mean when I say holier than thou?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely! It's 100%. Like I just. Oh my god, like she's trying so fucking hard to spin this as a narrative of, morals and how
See, if this was like a genuine approach, like out of the kindness of her heart, I feel like what she would say is something to the effect of, those of you who still want to buy the game, that's perfectly fine. It still means that you're supporting Jennifer Hale, which means a lot as a fellow voice actress. And there are people at the studio who deserve to make their paychecks. But for those who feel the same way as I do about this particular situation, or something to that effect, it'd be like, yeah, okay, I feel you. That's
Yeah.
I mean, if she just wanted to give her perspective and voice up like, hey, I feel like I was underpaid, and her narrative didn't keep switching and the numbers lined up more, then yeah, that would be a far more justifiable argument. But
Absolutely.
Yeah, but
There's
she's
a
kind
version of
she's
this is just a
establishing.
whole moral grandstand of like, I'm better than you, I'm holier than you. Like, if you don't pick my side, then you're pieces of shit. That's not
Yeah,
exactly what she's saying, but
it's-
that's what she's implying.
It's very much an if you're not with me, you're against me kind of thing. But I'm not gonna say you're
Exactly.
against me. I'm just gonna call you a piece of shit.
I'm just gonna
Yeah.
like passive
There's-
aggressively call you a deplorable person.
Yeah.
Despite what Hellena Taylor might think, there is a version of this where you don't make yourself look like a fucking dickhead.
Right?
Who cares about who gets hurt with these financial decisions?
Oh my god, shut the fuck up!
Then I urge you to boycott.
That, alright, the way...
Her smug little fucking face.
Yeah,
She,
the
she
way
was
that
like
it almost
she was trying to pull off the lip quiver while having a little smirk on her.
Yeah, it looks like she's trying her best to hold back some kind of fucking smirk, and it just doesn't look good.
Let me rewind this a little bit. I want to like
Who cares about the world around you? Who cares about who gets hurt with these financial decisions?
what does that look tell me?
That is a smug ass little like fuck the company.
This is
Fuck the company.
she's having right now. She's having the thought of that dickhead Kirk that I met when I went over there. Fuck him. He's gonna get so wrecked by this.
Oh,
She
absolutely.
doesn't give a shit about the people. She's trying to virtue signal, oh, think of the people. You care about like my financial woes. It's like, well, what about every other developer that worked on this game for 4 years? You know, they kind of want to get paid and stuff,
Yeah,
right?
They need that money too in order to keep having their jobs.
Support fair pay because of it means a lot for voice actors right now in the current fucking
Kermit, the current Kermit.
fucking frog man's manipulating.
If you don't boycott this game, you're a piece of shit.
You should boycott Bayonetta 3.
Well, let me tell you right now, Bert. If you don't boycott this game, you're kind of a piece of shit. Yeah.
Boycott Bayonetta 3 right now.
Anyways,
Deplorable little fucks.
fuck, I forgot. I was like, support voice actor pay in this current climate, but also like just gonna completely sandbag Jennifer Hale's entrance to this franchise. It's like, I don't know, it feels not being very considerate.
Like I said, all the developers behind the scenes, like, and the voice acting directors and shit, any of the ones that aren't basically Hellena Taylor, it's just fuck everyone but her.
Yeah, they don't matter. They're not $1 million net worth voice.
They're not worth it.
About them?
They don't have the voice recognition I do.
Oh, of course not.
Then I urge you to boycott this game. I decided to do it to stand up in solidarity with people all over the world who do not get paid properly for their talents. Fat cats cream off the top and leave us the rotten crumbs.
Are you laughing because she said cream? Are you laughing because she said cream? Be honest with me.
No, I'm just laughing because the whole statement is awful.
It's true.
It's so fucking bad.
She's trying so hard to be so profound and poetic, and it just, it just comes off as pretentious.
When I hear her say like people all around the world who are being underpaid, I think about people in sweatshops, people who like all they can do is sell like food they make on the streets to try and bring home something for their family in really poor countries. That's what I think about her. She got $1 million net worth. She's living in a nice house, driving that nice car. I don't know, man.
Like, the fuck, bro? Like, I don't get paid anything super special, and I live with roommates to help alleviate fucking bills and shit, so like, preaching to the choir, like, underpaid, sure, but
oh yeah, same here.
Like, you're definitely not suffering.
Yeah.
I've been fighting for a decent pay since I started this job like over almost 2 years ago now, so I get it.
Yeah, I'm currently at one where we get a decent pay, but like
I've gotten some raises, not to get too into the nitty gritty here, but I've gotten some raises up to a more justifiable rate or wage, but like it's still a little below what would be ideal around here for like housing and shit.
Right.
imagine. the housing market in this day and age is fucking terrible.
Ugh, God, don't even. It's a whole other discussion.
Oh, yeah.
Oh boy, isn't it?
Right now, we're a little too focused on what's a new one? Bitch.
You know, in England right now, there are nurses going to food banks to feed their children. This is not right. This is not acceptable.
So what's this have to
nurses
do with
are
her?
going to food banks to feed their children, so I need
sorry.
to get paid 6 figures. Fucking fuck the company. Don't pay the
I'm sorry.
developers.
I'm not laughing at the prospect of what she just said. I'm laughing at the prospect of her, this $1 million net worth woman, who asked for 6 fucking figures from a company who is complaining about people not having fair pay when she
She doesn't
offers-
actually give a shit about them, though, because if she did,
Of course not.
she'd want the developers of the game to also get paid fairly, not just her. So
Exactly.
this is some real virtue signaling, holier than thou bullshit. It's a whole moral grandstand, and
As
it's petty as fuck.
as someone who was raised by a single mother working 2 nursing jobs, I hear this and I'm like, you really are not in the position to be talking about this that you think you are.
It's very what's the fucking word? Privileged. Like she's speaking from a point of privilege.
Yeah,
I guess.
these
I would
all,
agree.
these videos really have that energy of like the celebrities singing Imagine. Remember that?
Oh, kill me.
I don't, sadly.
Oh, there were a bunch of celebrities like a couple years ago that did like this little compilation of all of them singing Imagine by John Lennon, and it's just like, oh, okay, yeah, it was not long after COVID hit, basically them trying
Oh,
to tell people,
yeah, I remember this bullshit now. Yes,
yeah.
that whole fucking dumb thing.
Oh yeah, it was pretty terrible. It was pretty
Please
Yes.
just north of awful.
Please tell me, multimillionaire trapped in their several acre house and mansion, please tell me how everything really is okay.
We're all gonna be okay, guys. We're all gonna be okay.
Guys, you don't have millions in your savings? What
What you mean you can't afford gas this week?
What you mean? Gas has gone up to where you can barely afford to fucking go to work. What you mean?
What do you mean you skipped dinner last night? What?
Why
does that?
Why aren't you feeding your kid, you piece of shit? I literally can't afford it. Wow, not gonna work for him, huh?
What do you mean you have severe depression that's crippling your ability to go to work because the world sucks? What the fuck?
It's so dumb.
I've been
Sorry.
depressed. I've been depressed too. It makes it so hard to act.
Makes it so hard to make millions of dollars.
They really do.
That being said, depression is a very real thing, but also fuck all of you.
But also stop being depressed.
Yeah, stop it. Stop it.
Stop it.
It impacts mental health.
Oh.
Exactly. Stop being depressed.
Go fuck yourself. Don't even. Don't even.
Have you just tried not being mentally unstable?
Don't even come at this like you give a shit about mental health in this angle. You wanted to get paid. You didn't get the pay you wanted. That's what happened.
She's gone so far off the rails trying to make herself look as good as as if she's in such a good position. Such a more
She's victimizing herself really hard.
Yeah, well, not even just that. She just bringing up all these things where it's just like, oh, if you don't support me, then you're the kind of person who doesn't care about the nurses going to the food banks and people who aren't being paid enough and people going through mental health issues. And like, fuck off.
Yeah, it's virtue signaling plus victimizing herself. It's like you don't care about these things then, even though they have no correlation to her actual situation.
This plane has gone so far off course. There are currently 2 towers in sight.
Oh my! Oh
no!
I was about to be like, oh, like that plane over Indonesia that disappeared like a few years ago that no one still knows where it went.
The train has gone so far off rails we're approaching Auschwitz.
Oh god!
Oh, God.
The train went so far off rails we ended up in Siberia.
Is this Antarctica? Why is it night for the past 3 days?
What the fuck?
Is going to food banks to feed their children. This is not right. This is not acceptable.
Yep, and it has nothing to do with you.
Mental health. Because of it, I suffered from depression and anxiety.
depressed.
She was depressed because she didn't get her six.
You know what
fingers,
this
guys.
reminds me of? I think Griffin even did this on his stream when he got to this part. You guys know Liquid Richard? Like the Wings of
No.
Redemption parody channel. It would make like songs.
I do not know.
Okay, well, there's one that they made with Wings and DSP, and it was called My Depression, and it's all about e-begging and shit, and it was like, that was my depression. And it was straight up, this moment is like straight up just that whole song. It's pretty much the same energy.
For someone,
That's fair.
for someone who allegedly cares so much about mental health and the things they've gone through, it's so interesting that you have only chosen to brought it up when you can use it to harm someone else.
It is interesting, isn't it? It's almost as if she had a specific plan here, and she didn't actually give two shits about morals or anything of that nature.
Nope. She had an agenda. That's what's going on here. She has a very set agenda of what she wants to get out of this, and she's trying her hardest to paint the situation in a light where she can achieve that agenda. She's trying to manipulate the situation as best she can, but very poorly at the same time.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
not working.
It's too blatant. It's like when you're watching a movie and like the annoying character everyone hates goes up to the boss or whatever, and they have this whole preachy like I'm so wonderful kind of thing, and you're just like watching and you're like, ah no, fuck them. Main characters, they're the one who's actually all this. This feels like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't take the whole moral grandstand shit.
I can't either. But she's obviously the main character of her own story.
Everyone's
She
the main
is-
character of their own story.
I'm just like Bayonetta for real. She me for real.
Oh, that should be her new Twitter bio. Is just like Bayonetta for real.
Tell me about it.
I worried it's going to be on the streets.
Wait, hold on, rewind. I want to get this in full context.
Okay.
That terrified me so much that once I was suicidal.
Oh God, you really had to bring that up, huh?
Hold on, rewind it and let it play in full. I want to hear it all.
Their talents. Fat cats cream off the top and leave us the rotten crumbs.
Cats.
In England right now there are nurses going to food banks to feed their children. This is not right. This is not acceptable. It impacts mental health. Because of it, I suffered from depression and anxiety. I worried that I was going to be on the streets. That terrified me so much that once I was suicidal. I am not afraid of the non-disclosure agreement.
Okay, let's go ahead and pause there because that's a whole other fucking thing. So she was so afraid of that $15,000 to $20,000 wouldn't be able to keep her off the street, and that made her suicidal. I don't know, like as someone who's actually not making as much money as they should be, I don't know. Go ahead, Luce. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So, yeah, that just kind of
You're very
pisses me off.
quiet.
Sorry.
You're good.
That just kind of pisses me off more than anything. I don't think there's anybody reasonable out there who denies that mental health is a serious thing.
Did you just like walk away from your mic?
No, sorry. I don't think there's any reasonable person out there who denies that mental health is a very serious thing. But yeah, Psychonauts internet died. He's going to try to come back in just a second.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just saw that. It's
for somebody.
This has the energy of someone who's very spoiled. Because even when I first heard this, before all the other stuff came out, I thought to myself, you have $1 million net worth. You were offered thousands of dollars, and you're telling me that you're so at risk of being homeless that you're suicidal, that's very confusing for me to hear. And it makes, I don't know anything about her financial situation, so I can't really say, but it's very strange to hear. And it's very confusing.
For me, it just kind of adds to the whole thing that Psychonaut said earlier about her just feeling like she's just constantly morally grandstanding. This isn't an issue between her. Sorry, this isn't an issue between the general public and Platinum. This is an issue between her and Platinum, and it is something that should have been settled by her and Platinum, and yet she is trying to weaponize an entire fan base against a majority of. Welcome back, Psycho.
There we go. My internet fucking died. It's just
Oh,
everything.
She is trying to weaponize an entire internet against a studio of people who essentially, for the most part, did nothing wrong, all because she didn't get paid what she thought she was owed. And for her to try and spit it as some sort of mental health issue, it just pisses me off more than anything else.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why, unless it had like a very like massive impact on your life, why you would bring this up to the general public. Like, if this were for instance, there are interviews with people who, like they were a child actor in Hollywood and they got like abused and like how that affected them. That I can see being, pertinent information to bring up. But when you say I'm not being paid enough and it made me want to kill myself, I'm just like I said, it just leaves me more confused than anything and it leaves me in a position of what am I really supposed to get out of this other than the fact that you really, really, really want us to hate Platinum Games.
Pretty much.
Are you back in the watch together?
Yep.
All right, cool.
I am not afraid of the non-disclosure agreement. I can't even afford to run a car. What are they going to do? Take my clothes?
I mean, they can try. they can try. You might have to sell them.
Can't afford to run her car. Again, I don't know any. Again, I don't know her financial situation. That I feel as though that needs to be kept in mind when I say any of this. But when I look you up, and one of the first things I see is that you have $1 million net worth, that makes me really wonder, like, what the fuck kind of car do you own that you cannot put a little bit of gas in? Also, you live in England. You can walk around the fucking country in like a handful of hours. Being hyperbolic, obviously, but it's not like you see what I mean.
Yeah, I get you. There's also the fact that like have you not had a job for this entire 4 fucking years that the game has been developed?
Yeah, and
I just have to wonder, what are you doing? Because at this point, like, if you had said this the year that Platinum had approached you, that'd be one thing. It's been years since this offer. What have you been fucking doing?
yeah, and if we're going off the timeline of events that she gave later on, so I'm jumping ahead a bit, but apparently, according to her, which, grain of salt, there was 11 months between Kamiya's offer and their last offer to give her a cameo role for $4,000. So, what was she doing for that 11 months? Like, sitting on her ass? Like, at a point, I just gotta wonder, like, are you actually doing anything to help yourself, or...
We can definitely say she wasn't driving. Bitch can't run a car.
Yeah.
Apparently so.
This was also like we'd already been kind of like scratching our chins a bit, but I remember distinctly like this was the moment where my girlfriend was really like, what? Like this feels like very strange information for you to be giving us.
I concur.
I can't afford to run a car. I can barely live in my house.
This might be something if you're like, a very new voice actor who's only had like a handful of gigs and they've all been cheap and you're like telling your story or something, but I don't know.
But she's a professional. She's been voice acting for many years now, as far as we know. And she also has a she has $1 million net worth.
And I mean, let's be real. If she wanted a voice role before all of this, she could have gotten
Yeah.
it. She could have gone to anywhere else, gotten any other gigs.
And yet she apparently, as far as we know at least, she's done fuck all for 4 years. I mean, okay.
Yeah. Like I said, it's just very strange information to try and digest.
Very much so.
Well, that's the whole thing when I say she's victimizing herself. It's like, I can't afford to fucking run my car. Like, okay. Why do I need to know this?
Yeah. I don't think that's information that anybody needs to know because, like, whether or not you can run your car, it doesn't change the situation. It doesn't change the scenario. It doesn't make it any more moral or any less moral.
I feel like if you ask that question of why do you feel the need to tell me this to like the majority of her sentences of her points, most of the time the answer would be so that you can take my side against Platinum Games, or so that some other way of spinning it, so you can understand my position and boycott the
My
game.
dog stepped on a bee.
Oh God, I'm gonna show you the remix of that later.
Good luck to them. Bayonetta always stands up.
God,
Kill yourself.
God, loose.
I mean that entirely as a joke.
Oh, we're gonna
I
get
don't
canceled
actually
now.
wanna-
GG, everybody. Good night.
I don't want her to actually do that, but in all seriousness, fuck you. You are not Bayonetta. You are not as much like her as you think you are. Quit trying to use Bayonetta as some sort of framing to make yourself look better because, she's just like me for real, for real.
You're just like me for real.
We're like
Oh,
literally
you're
the
just
same
like me
person.
For real.
I can't. It's basically just that shit. I fucking can't.
Basically, yeah.
Could you imagine if I went through some kind of personal tism to do with my YouTube career? I don't know. And like in my follow-up video, response video, whatever, I was like, I talk a lot about Devil May Cry on this channel, and Dante never backs down from a fight. He looks it in the eye and he says, "Come and get it." And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just like him for real.
I would find where you live and I would take great pleasure in slapping the shit out of you.
I would take great pleasure in that too. Joke's on you.
Well, at
Damn,
least we
alright.
both win in that scenario.
We're on the same page.
we're just like each other for real, for real.
Oh God, shut up.
What are they going to do with their clothes? Good luck to them. Bayonetta always stands up for those with less power and stands up for what is right. And in
Is her
doing
phone
this,
turning?
You stand with her.
Her phone's turning. She's
You have $1 million net worth.
You can get a job anywhere you want. As far as
Pretty
voice
much.
acting goes, or before this.
Before this, yeah. But yes, it looks as if her phone is currently turning. Like whoever is holding it or whatever it's set upon.
Yeah.
It's just starting to fucking slide.
Her phone has had enough of her bullshit.
I was about to say, even the phone's done with her bullshit.
It's like, give me the fuck out of here.
I will not be the catalyst for this bullshit.
It's trying to parry her bullshit, but it can't.
Parry this, you fucking casual. Misinformation.
I suck at parries.
Miss this misinformation, am I right? It's funny.
So I think this is video 3 now. You can tell because of the cut and also her hair changed yet again.
Yes. Yeah,
Oh
and
my God.
there's 4 in total. The last one is gonna be the most funny for me.
The image got worse.
I mean,
I'll be right back, gentlemen. I have to use the
okay.
boys' room.
Well, no, he hasn't seen it before, so I don't want him to miss anything.
Rip.
Have you played Bayonetta, Psychonautic?
Nope. I have not. I haven't played it or DMC, and I really want to get into DMC. So
Wow, not only
I'd
does he
probably
hate
like.
not only does he hate women, he hates gay people too. Unbelievable.
Fuck. Why am I with the femboy then? Shit.
That's that's true. That's true. I'm gonna get to round 100 on Dare East just so I can steal him.
Nah, man, I already made it to round 100 before. You're gonna have to try harder.
Fuck. I think what was the highest? I think my highest round was like 87. I think it was on Dare East
Uh,
actually.
I've done some high round runs. I think my highest under Reese is probably 60 something though, because usually I just get tired at that point.
I remember one time a buddy of mine and I we were playing on the Black Ops 3 version, the Giant, and we just kept getting nukes and max ammos and insta kills. Like we kept getting power ups. I don't know why.
Did
We
you guys have the power vacuum gobblegum on or no?
no, we didn't. And like we legitimately got like at least 5 per round. It was ridiculous. I was like, dang, we got like a game genie or a game shark in there.
Yeah,
Yes.
no, but I've wanted to play Bayonetta and DMC though. They are games that the more I've looked into them, the more fun they look to me. I just
They are
never
a lot of
have.
fun. I want to see you live stream DMC so I can watch you suffer through DMC 2.
I don't know if I'm gonna start with 2. I'm probably gonna start with 3.
That was a good call. That was my first one.
That's what I was told to do, was probably start with 3, especially because I want to like jump to 5 at some point. I was told like if I want to like an easier step into the mechanics, that 3 is a better starting point.
I would probably say one's better because one's definitely. I mean, it's the most bare bones. It's still got a lot to it, but it's uh, it's a really good starting point. DMC 3 is also though, so really either or.
Yeah, we'll see then. I'm not saying I would I won't play DMC 1, but I might start with 3 is all.
Yeah, it's pretty
And I've
good.
heard 2 is vastly different from what I've heard.
Difference, one word for it. Most would just call it shit. It's
Fair enough.
so like you might hear that and think to yourself, "Oh, it's like, you know, what's a good example? Like Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, right? Where it's like a shit game, but it's still like perfectly playable. You can just run through like any other. DMC2 is it's a very incomplete game with very unpolished things because it had a very awful development cycle. 7 months prior to release, the only finished asset, which at that point they were getting a new director, was
DMC2.
was one attack animation. That was it.
As soon as you said 7 months out, all they had was I knew it. I
Yep.
knew exactly what it was.
DMC2 is like, oh man, if there's ever a video game that needed a remake other than Dino Crisis, it would be DMC2.
It's the perfect case study of complete and total mismanagement of a project.
God, what one game I want to see? Well, actually, 2 games I really want to see have some kind of remake. Well, I guess one of them. Okay, well, let me start with this. One of them I could take a remake or a sequel to, which is Bloodborne, because I would love like an actual remaster
Preach into the choir on that one.
of
It's
it on
actually
PC or something,
it's actually
or just
getting
a
it's coming to
outright
PC soon.
sequel. Yeah, I never heard anything about them actually porting it. I know Sony bought shares or something like that, like FromSoft, so there was rumors of them porting it, but I never heard any confirmation of that.
At this point, it's just they've been way too quiet about it, so I'm suspicious. Like
But
this is one
the
of
other
their most
game,
popular games they ever made, and yet they have said nothing whatsoever about it, not even hinted or teased it for even a moment.
the other game I want a proper like remake to though would be Morrowind. But I'm afraid that if you tried to do that, you would change too much of what makes Morrowind Morrowind.
Unfortunately, I don't trust Bethesda to be able to fucking find their way out of a biodegradable paper bag.
Yeah, that's fair. Oh, hey, Psychonautic, have you ever played a little game called Time Splitters?
No, I don't remember the name. I have to go look this up now.
Yeah, they're the people. It's made by the same people who made GoldenEye, and if you only play one of them, make it Time Splitters Future Perfect. It has so much in it it has so much content in it. When I look back at it, I'm like, holy shit! Like no DLC, and I have all this. It has a multiplayer mode with all kinds of different modes and plenty of customizability, like 150 plus unlockable characters, custom maps, a co-op single player mode, challenge modes, and of course local multiplayer. It was one of the first online shooters, if I remember correctly, because it came out in like 2006, I think. That was in like the PS2 days, back with the broadband internet and shit.
Mm.
It's
I'd
really
like a
cool.
Resident Evil Outbreak remake personally.
If you have a Dolphin or any other good GameCube emulator, Time Splitters is on there. It was on GameCube and Xbox and PS2. It was
I haven't
very
fucked
good.
with any emulators yet on this computer. I had some on my last one. My last
I've
one was also a
I've not
water computer.
I've not gotten any emulators either. I really should.
Got an emulator of Crisis Core. That was the best decision of my life.
Ah. Anywho,
Play Crisis Core. It's really good.
For those of you who are interested, I'd like to go into a little more detail about the back and forth.
yeah, please
First
do.
thing was I was required to audition again because sometimes voices change with time. So I auditioned for the role and obviously passed with flying colours. They then sent me.
Can I just throw it out there? She said I obviously passed with flying colors. That kind of
Yeah, that's that. It's again. It's one of those things where she's stroking her own ego. It doesn't
Yeah.
make you look good.
yeah, it doesn't feel the most appropriate to give a comment. And it's a small thing, but it doesn't feel very appropriate given what you just said about, all this was mental health and my suicidisms and all that stuff.
Yeah,
My suicide. My
it
depression.
yeah, it definitely feels stroking your own ego. Like a better thing to say would have been, I auditioned again, and I don't think it would be a stretch to say that I did very well and that I passed.
I would have just said
Not
I would have said thankfully. I would have been like thankfully I did very well
yeah.
because that would show
I
good.
passed with flying colors, obviously.
Obviously.
You
Yeah, it's
fucking
just
know.
it's a little thing, but that was actually my first time noticing it. And I was like, huh, that's a I don't know. I don't know if you should say that given especially what came after.
Me an insulting offer. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to write to Hideki Kamiya. I'm going to write to him.
Well, there's your first mistake. Because yeah. Anyway.
So we real quick, we talked about this in that one Bayonetta 2 stream. So I remember saying, okay, she was offered a flat rate of 4,000 for the second offer from Kamiya, that because she said it was the final offer for her role in the whole game as the voice of Bayonetta. So I was like, dang, how fucking terrible, because that's not a good offer, only $4,000, for a role that big. How fucking pitiful must that first offer have been? Turns out it was like $10,000 or $15,000, but yeah.
Yeah, she just lies a lot about the numbers and flip flops. It's really bad.
Yeah. But hey, I mean, her dog stepped on a bee, so, Her dog. She never actually said that. In case anybody's an idiot, I'm making comparisons to the Amber Heard trial where she keeps
Wow, you're
My
gonna
God,
call
you're
more
someone.
and more.
strawmanning.
Yeah, I'm totally straw manning. Yeah, I'm comparing to the Amber Heard trial where she just kept adding more and more details that aren't really relevant to us. And also, I don't know why you would write specifically to the director. As far as I know, directors don't handle how much you get paid.
Yeah, as far as I know, they can have a hand in it. Like they can, get because I mean, obviously Kamiya did. He, can get a hold of them and be like, hey,
She had to write to the big mean guy.
yeah,
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 the racist man himself.
yeah, what an asshole.
You don't understand. It's all about like public perception here. So you just
Mhm.
gotta try and paint them as evil as possible.
Of course. Why wouldn't you?
Doesn't matter if it makes logical sense. Just make them out to be evil.
Oh yeah.
It's so funny too because it's like you don't have to convince anyone. Well, some people, yes, because they're idiots, but you don't really have to convince that many people that Hideki Kamiya is a fucking asshole. Especially when you're a non-Japanese, especially when Japanese isn't your first language, because we can pretty much
Yeah.
presume right off the bat that he's not going to like you. So
Yeah, Kamiya does a pretty good job of painting himself to be a dickhead all by himself. All right, you don't have to go after
Yeah.
him anymore.
By the
And I only
way,
learned about him through your stream when you guys were talking about him before.
oh yeah, he's a real piece of work. By
Yeah,
the
I looked
way,
into him.
I I got a comment. I gotta talk about this. I got a comment on one of my previous things where someone said, you know, so what if Hideki Kamiya doesn't like languages outside his own? That's not racism. I was like,
What?
that's not the exact wording,
Okay.
but in essence, that's what they said. And
I mean,
my response to them was, I want you to trade out the word English for Spanish and read that back to me.
yeah.
Please tell me how someone who doesn't want to hear Spanish isn't actually being racist towards God knows
Yeah,
how many people.
there's a fine line between like being ignorant to the language and not understanding it, and just being like, okay, I need a translator or someone else to help me understand what this person's
Yeah.
asking me, versus outright like xenophobia towards anyone that speaks to you that way.
Yeah. And there are
Calling them brainless insects and pieces of shit. I'm like,
Yeah, it
oh,
comes
Oh,
off
yeah.
as more it was more so
You fucking
xenophobic than fucking just racism to me.
fair, but considering he's calling an entire bunch
I
of
would
people, well,
I would
I
say it
mean,
goes I would say it goes hand in hand.
yeah, I was about to say the two can go hand in hand. I'm just giving my perception on it. Like, it's very xenophobic. The guy doesn't seem to like anything that's not his own language, from what I can tell.
Yeah,
that's
pretty much.
neither one is justifiable. Just so we're
Oh no,
clear.
Oh yeah, no.
no, neither one's better in this situation. I'm not trying to paint it as such.
Oh, I know. I'm clarifying for everybody else out there
Yeah,
who might
yeah.
not know.
Yeah, I'm not trying to make that out as a defense.
Yeah, to be clear, racism and xenophobia aren't necessarily what's the word? Would it be mutually inclusive? Where they're like
Yeah,
they're yeah.
Interchangeable is the word that I
they're
would
not
say.
necessarily mutually inclusive or exclusive. They
Yeah.
can go hand in hand, but they don't always do.
Yeah. But Kamiya's been pretty blatantly both.
That's fair.
But
Anyway,
anywho,
back on topic.
yeah, I just wanted to respond to that one comment.
Sometimes voices change with time. So I auditioned for the role and obviously passed with flying colours. They then sent me an insulting offer. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to write to Hideki Kamiya. I'm going to write to him and ask him for what I'm worth.
Turns out you weren't worth very much, bitch.
I got a friend who has been in business in Japan to write in Japanese to him.
There's another little detail I just want to put a pin in that. She got a friend to write to him in Japanese.
Yeah, that's irrelevant. It's another one of those things. So, I could be completely off base, but from what I have gathered, it's a very common thing when people are telling a story and they're lying that they will add in details that are completely and totally irrelevant to the story
yeah.
as a whole in
See-
order to
No, go ahead and finish.
and essentially it's in order for them to sort of try and make their story seem more airtight when in reality it doesn't fucking matter.
It kind of does the exact opposite of that, though. And what I was
Yeah.
gonna say is, there's a YouTube channel out there. I think they're called JCS Criminal Psychology. Some of their videos have been like blocked or like taken down because YouTube's a dick about that shit. But they make really, really good like criminal psychology videos. And I actually learned a thing or two there. And one of the ones they broke down, I think, can't remember his name. It wasn't Michael Rafferty, but it was some guy who killed his wife and kids and
I
like
think I
tried
know
covering it
exactly
up
what
and
you're
shit.
talking about.
And like when you watch the whole interrogation thing and how that channel like deciphers it and breaks it down, he does the exact same kind of thing that you're describing, where it's like, and it's an actual tactic that detectives use where they'll remain quiet so that the suspect will start revealing more random details so that they can start picking apart like the contradictions in their story, the things that don't line up, etc.
Yeah, I watched I can't remember if it was like a psychologist or somebody. It was some reaction breakdown video back during the whole Amber Heard Johnny Depp thing, where they were listening to Amber Heard's testimony and they were like, they kept pointing out she's adding in a lot of very unnecessary details here, which makes it seem more dishonest because these things don't matter, and it's almost as if they're just saying it so that they can have a more realistic sounding story, but they're not going to be able to keep up with it.
Basically, when someone's guilty like that, they'll elaborate onto their story they'll add onto their story with far more elaborate details than what's necessary.
Yeah,
because
typically non-verifiable details also.
Because they're trying to prove their innocence, versus an innocent person will tell the straight facts and story just from their perception, and won't try and add on random pointless details to make themselves seem better in the situation because they don't feel a need to.
Yeah.
Versus a guilty person.
There was a quote that Elle had said to me a while ago. I can't remember who it's from, but I think
Mark
it's very
Twain.
here. Yes, an honest man never has to remember a single story. And I think that's very prudent here, because she's very clearly having to remember a lot.
An honest man doesn't have to remember a thing that he says.
And they're being completely straightforward versus her trying to spin the situation. Like, it's very manipulative.
Oh, absolutely.
I know he read it because I got a reply. I got a reply saying that he values greatly my contribution to the game and that the fans really want me to voice it over. And the memory of first meeting me as Bayonetta is a memory I hold dear. So I thought, great, thank God. That was when they offered me $4,000 US. Do you know, Platinum had the cheek to say that I was busy, that they couldn't make it work with Miss Taylor's schedule. Well, I had nothing but time. They now have...
And seemingly so, you had nothing but time, considering you didn't work.
I was going
for
to say,
like
she didn't
the
take
last
any
11
fucking
months.
jobs.
Yeah.
So that doesn't
Like-
make any fucking sense.
Like, were you not trying to get other work in this time, or were you, like, really banking on this to be the thing that fucking worked out for you?
Like, she's not only lying about the numbers here, but she's lying about them and how they offered, like, the work schedule and shit, because they offered her to actually work on the game before they even offered the cameo. Whereas this is, like, shit she's describing from the cameo, so it's just... Can you make the script, like, line up and make sense, please?
Yeah, you got a few plot holes here that aren't lining up.
No, this
Yeah.
isn't about the cameo. This is about the like her final offer from Camilla.
Oh, right.
I know it is, but later on, doesn't it come up that the 4,000 was for the cameo? And
Yeah.
that's basically what she's describing here, so it doesn't line up, is what I'm saying.
In her most recent Twitter thread, one of the last things she points out was that the final offer she got, apparently 11 months after Camilla's offer, was for a cameo, and that was for $4,000.
Exactly.
Which is, very inconsistent with what she just said.
What she's describing here is that she wrote to him about voicing for, like, the game, not for the cameo, and it was 4,000, and that was for the entire game. She's leaving out the details of what she was offered beforehand.
Yep. Yeah, she's very bad at remembering details.
Almost like she's not being entirely forthcoming with said details.
Yeah, pretty much.
Though that's just
She's trying to spin what they offered her for the cameo as if what they offered, that's what the most they offered her, for one, and as if that's what their final offer was for the entire game, which it kind of was in context of the cameo, but not for your actual role as Bayonetta before.
Yeah.
This is just a cameo.
Which, honestly, like, if I was... I don't know, if I was...
Imagine being offered thousands for a single recording session for, like, a couple of lines in a cameo.
Yeah, like 3 or 4 hours of sitting in a booth,
if that,
and you just got $3 or $4 grand.
Like, if this is all true, and Camilla did do this, then I would honestly have to give props to him for at least trying to offer her some sort of pay to be in the game. And $4,000 for a cameo? Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, $4,000 for a cameo. Let's just say, like, at most 2 hours in the booth for, like, some lines and shit. Like, let's say there's redos and you want to get a couple different takes. So at most 2 fucking hours, and you're getting $4,000. Excuse me.
Could you imagine how fucking happy I'd be to make $4,000 for a single S.E.E.S episode?
Like, what the fuck?
That would be amazing. That would actually.
I was happy when people fucking donated to me at all on my stream after getting monetized. So I was like, shit, people actually care about my content. I'm really appreciative of that. I'm not looking out here like, oh, I need that 4K, guys, for the stream, or fuck you guys, I'm done with this content. I deserve more. Like,
Also, if I'd bro, if I'd have gotten any amount of money for the work on the fucking Dead Vector season,
Oh man,
that would have made everything
Hey,
so worth it.
hey, Luz, remember
exactly. That's the entire thing with like what you do on YouTube. Like, Griffin said it best to me. Imagine if this was a YouTuber saying this shit. How made fun of would they have gotten? Like, just
Ooh.
think of Wings or
Oh,
DSP.
They
How
would have
made
been
fun of would you have
trashed.
gotten? I've worked on my craft for 14 years on this channel. I deserve to get paid more than this on a stream, guys. Like, it just, don't sit
They would-
right.
Yeah, they would be absolutely demolished. But because it's Hellena Taylor,
Hey,
Yeah,
Luz,
you know, all of the simps are like, "Oh my god, Queen, we have to defend her." Also, what else?
Yeah.
remember the Lost Seas episode of of us getting
Oh god.
of us getting really drunk and reading Dead Vector's book?
Oh yeah.
People are. I'm gonna just randomly mention that for like the entirety of my YouTube career, and people are gonna ask for it.
At this point, just fucking post it.
No, nope.
Yeah, we
it'll
went-
never be posted. I'm just gonna randomly send you clips from time to time. Is what I'm gonna do.
I'll be right
Send-
back real quick.
All right.
Just send me a link of an unlisted video that no one will ever see.
Ooh, that's a good idea. I ought to do that.
Because goddamn, that video was too fucking great for it to be lost to time forever. I need to be able to view that time capsule every so often.
I'll say this. So for those watching, who are aware of all the Dead Vector stuff, so we were in his Discord server at a point. No, I got this off of his YouTube because he had like a link to it or something. Anyways,
Yeah, this was so us reading the prologue of his book happened while we were still in all of that all of that trouble with him
yeah.
before he mended everything.
And out of respect, I won't make any comments on the quality of the book or any of our interaction about or whatever. It was just me and Luce reading the book, and we were really fucking drunk, or at least I was. I know I had a few.
I was getting there.
Just some of the shit in there, especially when Luce would read, and he would read like dialogue, and some of that dialogue would have like exclamation points. It was like, like a character yelling or something, and Luce would just kind of say like, and he said, "Ah," and I was like, "No, Luce.
Oh,
you gotta put some heart into this, man. This is your voice acting audition, you know."
Well, yeah, because like there was a point I specifically remember too. There was like a point where a character was like dying, and they were screaming and everything. And I was like, and you were like, "You gotta put some. Come on, man, you gotta put some more effort into it." And so I muted myself.
You went to your car.
I went to my car because I was living with my grandparents at the time, and I just basically went, "Oh, I'm gonna try to imitate it a little bit without scaring my housemates." I basically just moaned into the fucking microphone and framed it as a scream. And Al lost his fucking mind.
I spat up. I was fucking losing my shit, man.
I'm not gonna lie.
One of my favorites was when he screamed the name. Do you remember the name, Luce? Do you remember the name?
It was Kluskelthor.
Yeah. I just remember. I don't even remember any of the surrounding anything. I just remember the noise of Luce going, "Kluskelthor!"
All right, I'm back.
Hello. Welcome back.
Heyo.
If you want to continue with the video, I gotta pee real quick, so I'll be right back.
All right. You want to continue, Psycho?
Sure.
Schedule. Well,
I'll rewind a little bit.
you know, Platinum had the cheek to say that I was busy, that they couldn't make it work with Miss Taylor's schedule. Well, I had nothing but time.
Oh, yeah, that's right, because you weren't working for 11 months, apparently.
Yeah.
They now have a new girl voicing her over. And I love that.
Notice how she says a new girl. not a new woman, but there's just something about using girl in that context that kind of makes it almost seem a little bit disrespectful. Maybe it's just me.
Eh, I guess. I don't really see it personally, but I mean, yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Then again, it's probably just the fucking tone and how she's
Yeah,
handling
it could
everything.
be the tone of her voice because she is coming off as a little aggressive here, so maybe it's just that. Because I do agree her tone here is very off-putting.
Yeah, I think this has gone to the point where she's trying to damage control everything because there have been a lot of people who have tried to call her out for all this.
For me, it's the
You can
issue
tell
of
she's being petty, though. You can tell, like, there's
Oh, absolutely.
some antagonism, like, built up in her. Like, she's being antagonistic, but trying her best to hide it.
For me, it's the issue of just not using her name. Like instead of saying now they've got Jennifer Hale, now they've got New Girl, and it's just like
That
why say
too.
why say it like that?
Yeah, like
If she had followed up, they got a new girl, Jennifer, whatever her name is. If she had followed up with that, it'd be a lot less aggressive sounding.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Jennifer Hale.
voice of gosh, okay, so this is random, but Jennifer Hale has such a much greater, much larger uh bibliography of voice acting roles than Helena Taylor, and yet you want to know what her net worth is? $500,000.
Oh God, why? Why?
Jennifer Hale's been fucking everywhere, dude.
Well, at least she's actually doing her fucking job
Yeah.
Yeah, instead of not working for 11 months apparently, and then
and not doing voice
supposedly.
acting for like 8 years or something, wasn't it?
Oh, really? I didn't actually. Know.
Oh,
I heard that one.
are you
I might
referring
have
to
to
like
fact
the
check that.
are you referring to the time between Bayonetta's 2 and 3?
Yeah.
Because Bayonetta 2 came out in like 2015, 2014, one of the two. I think she
If it was
did.
2014, then yeah, 8 years would line up.
Let me
This is what Griffin looked up, so I'll have to go and look it up myself. So, but when he looked her up, there was like a 7 or 8 year gap, so it could have been 7 years. He might have been rounding up or something.
I'm gonna do
But
that
yeah,
too.
she didn't voice act for a very long time, from what I know.
Interesting. Well,
Let's
um,
let me pull up let me pull up that their bibliography. I think she did. Well, I know she voice acted for Smash Bros, which is really only a handful of lines, but
Yeah,
yeah.
the last thing on her IMDb is in 2014, so that would line up with 8 years,
damn.
like from there to now. So
Interesting.
she's not even been voice acting that much as of lately compared
Oh,
to Jennifer
So she
Hale
ex-
or whatever the fuck her name is.
so she expected to just walk right back in and make six figures off of one role?
Yeah, pretty
Holy
much. That's
shit.
what makes it even more
I,
pretentious.
okay, yeah,
Yeah.
no, I didn't actually know that before. Now
Yup.
that just actually makes it even worse.
That makes it
I'm
a
surprised
lot
you guys
worse.
didn't know that because you've been following it a lot more than I have. That was just something I heard offhandedly from Griffin's stream.
I just
Yeah,
assumed that she had, because I knew her bibliography was kind of small, but like I assumed she had a few things in there, but I guess not.
Yeah, I would have.
She does technically, but as of the last like 8 years, no.
But yeah, like
Right.
I would have assumed that somebody who is apparently worth $1 million would
Yeah.
have been voice acting for a decent bit. But apparently she. Now
Oh,
you're telling me she hasn't done it for 8 fucking years, and she wants
yeah.
six
And sh-
figures off of her newest role? Are you
Well,
kidding me?
the
if
weird
that
thing
doesn't show
is,
you how much more egotistical she's coming off as, I don't know what will. Like that's
to
that's
add
just like narcissism, in my opinion. You
to
think you're
add
worth way more than you are.
to add just a bit more to that, like I'm pretty sure Bayonetta 1 was her breakout role. Like
I'm pretty
the
sure it
role
was
that put her on the
too.
map.
Honestly, I've never like if I'm being completely honest with you, I've never heard of Helena Taylor from anything but Bayonetta. I didn't even know her
really
name
know
until
about
recently.
her. I didn't really even know about her until
This.
it was a little bit before this controversy actually, because of the people talking about the new voice actor in Bayonetta 3. It was before she came out, like all this drama. But I remember people talking about like there being a new voice actor or whatever because she said like she wasn't approached or some shit. So that's the only reason I knew about her.
Yeah, before let me pull up the CL real quick.
But yeah, before like despite being a fan of Bayonetta, I had never actually known her name until recently.
Yep.
And I haven't heard. Bayonetta is the only thing that I've ever heard of her in.
So apparently, yeah, the only role of note really prior to Bayonetta is in Hellsing Ultimate. She was Zoran Blitz, which that is a really cool character. But so yeah,
Wait,
Bayonetta was 1000% her breakout
one's
role.
which one's Zoran?
Zoran,
Zoran?
the tall Nazi lady with the scythe.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Because
her.
I've watched Hellsing Ultimate and I
She's
watched Hellsing Ultimate Abridged.
Hell yeah,
She was her. Okay, fair enough.
yeah. Yeah. After Bayonetta, she was in Dragon Age Origins as a couple of
Ugh.
voices. Um, she was in a
Wait,
couple.
you're telling me like one of her first big roles was anime? This bitch was an anime voice actor. Fuck.
There's our answer. Yeah, after Bayonetta, she had one role in like Dragon Age Origins. She was in a couple other things I don't recognize them. Ways to Live Forever and Cockpit: The Rule of Engagement. Those are like a
What?
movie. Those are movies, so I don't know. But after that, she was Bayonetta in Anarchy Reigns, Bayonetta in the animated movie, in Smash Bros, then in Bayonetta 2, and then I guess those were like right around the same time as each other. She was a couple of throwaway voices in, you know, Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End, the video game, the Golden Compass video game.
So what you're telling me is that this woman has not actually been in that many video games, and has barely been in the industry.
She's basically only known for Bayonetta. Like there are a few people who know Zoran Blitz, but that's it. I didn't even know it, and
Yeah,
I love Hellsing Ultimate, so
I didn't even know that, and I love Hellsing Ultimate as well.
yeah.
It's one of the few animes I can say I actually like, and I'm not a fucking weeb or anything. There's not really a lot of anime I watch.
Hellsing Ultimate's it's Kino is what it is.
Hellsing Ultimate is good. I also love me some Berserk, like the original anime, and I haven't read a lot of the manga, but it's one of the few animes where I made the exception to read the manga, or at least some of it, because like the anime does such a good job at like at least by the end of it, getting you into like the actual meat of what the manga has to offer.
Yeah.
Have you watched Trigun yet, Psycho?
Do I watch what?
Trigun.
Trigun.
Oh,
Trigun.
Trigun. No, I haven't.
Watch it. It's absolutely worth your time. It's only 25 episodes and it's a western.
I might look into it then.
The last anime I watched was a few years ago. I watched Death Note for the first time, and it was fucking excellent.
I had a friend who watched it, and there was like one episode that seemed interesting to me, but the rest of it, I don't know if I could get into it or not. I don't know.
It's
That's fair.
it's some yummy stuff. I like Death Note a lot.
I'm not saying it's bad by any means. I just
Oh, I
don't
know.
know if it's something I would really. I could probably watch it, but I don't know if I'd really take a huge interest in it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is only like 20 something episodes, but it is a show that if you watch or if you read it in the case of the manga, you really got to pay attention to details because even the smallest things will be like a game changer several episodes later.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But
it's really
yeah,
good. I like
so
cat and mouse
TLDR
kind of
though,
stories.
this bitch didn't have a lot of voice acting career.
Yeah, that just makes it even worse.
It really does.
How does she have $1 million net worth if she's been in this little?
I have no idea.
You got me, homie. Yeah, just breakout role in Bayonetta. Bayonetta 2 is it was a very big deal when Bayonetta 2 came out, for sure. Um, Bayonetta 3 I would not say is as big of a deal, only because the franchise wasn't basically dead, or there was like, no hope for a sequel back then.
Mm.
So, and I get it. At this point, Bayonetta's had its heyday, but for you to just waltz in and be like, I want six figures, like, all right, look, you're not playing Ellie in The Last of Us. Like, calm down, all right?
Yeah, you're not fucking Jesus, Troy Baker, that's his name. You're not
Yeah,
like fucking Troy Baker.
Oh god,
here.
he's in everything.
he really
Yeah.
is.
I mean, if it was someone like Troy Baker asking for 6 figures minimum on like a fucking roll, even
Or, like-
for a franchise like this, like it would at least be somewhat understandable. He's a very recognizable guy. He has a very large discography.
Oh yeah,
Or like fucking Matt Mercer.
yeah. Matt Mercer's a bit.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, Matt Mercer. I mean,
and
I don't know a lot of his roles or anything. I'm sure if I looked him up, I'd recognize something
You
that he played. But I know
you've
him
heard
mostly from Critical Role.
you've heard it. I can guarantee you have heard him.
Oh, I'm not saying I haven't. That's why I said I'm sure if I looked him up, I'd recognize something he played. I just can't think of anything off the
He's,
top of my head.
off
he's
the
in
top of my
so
head,
much.
I knew it was McCree, now known as Cassidy in Overwatch. I'm not too
But yeah,
familiar with him though. I got to meet him once.
you
He
know,
was a
if it
really
was
cool
an
guy.
actual recognizable name like that, but not many people know who the fuck Helena Taylor is.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna throw that out there. That's not an insult, but it's like how many people before this drama can't tell me they knew who she was outside of a
anyone.
niche audience.
I was gonna say anyone who did know Hellena Taylor, pretty much the only thing you'd say is, "Oh yeah, Bayonetta."
Yeah. Outside of a
Yeah,
niche audience, not a lot of people knew about this person, and if they did, it was pretty much from Bayonetta with a small chance of it being Hellsing Ultimate, which I doubt because I was a fan of that and I didn't even know that till now.
Yeah,
yeah, same here. I can't honestly. I can barely
and
recognize
that's like
her, which
genuinely
is
not
like,
even like trying to discredit her because her role as Bayonetta
No,
was big. But I'm sorry,
I'm not
you
trying
can't
to.
you can't walk in on your third major voice acting role, expect six figures, and then cry fair pay when you're not given six figures.
Especially when you haven't acted for 8 years.
yeah.
That's
That's
Yeah,
the thing that makes it even worse. You haven't worked in this fucking gig for 8 years, or at least not in anything that anybody can recognize.
so it's again no way trying to dog on her or like having this as like a hobby, but she needs to recognize that that's all it is right now. This isn't really a profession. You can't call something you haven't done for 8 years a profession. This is a hobby, and just because you don't feel like you're getting paid fairly for your hobby doesn't justify this outcry and moral grandstand.
Yeah, especially when you're grandstanding this fucking hard and basically implying that people who don't fucking side with you are people who are to an extent immoral or don't care about the world around them.
yeah,
Yeah,
Like,
those set. She does a lot of what my girlfriend called othering, where you know that thing where it's
yeah,
like you paint out they're the other people. Don't listen to them. They're not worth
yeah.
it. They're the bad ones. She does
she's
a
setting up
lot of
It's like
that.
it's like tribalism at its finest, where you're trying
pretty
to like
much.
Yeah.
make people pick sides where you don't need to.
Yeah. It's she's very much trying to set up an us versus them
Hmm.
mentality for everybody, and God,
I
it's worked a treat because she has so many idiots on her side.
She did at first. I've not seen anyone, especially after her newest thread of tweets that she
Good.
put out. And I'm sure there are plenty of idiots that are, but
But but
99% of what I've seen has been against her.
I guess just to clarify and like to reiterate the point from earlier, like we're not trying to dog on her quality in terms of
Oh
like
no.
voice acting or anything. Like
Yeah, she's good at it.
it's not us trying to say she's bad or like she has a shitty career or anything like that. It's just trying to highlight how, this is a hobby and she's being way more narcissistic than she needs to be, like way more stroking her own ego. She thinks she's way more important in this industry than she actually is, basically.
Yeah, and if she wants to act like this is her profession, that's fine. But she hasn't done it for eight
You have to treat it
fucking
like a
years.
profession.
Yeah, like you've 8 fucking years. It's almost a decade, and you've done nothing.
Like,
Yeah.
what happened in that 11 months between the getting paid or whatever, right? Or, like, hearing back, whatever it was, where she waited for 11 months? How come you didn't find any other voice acting gigs there or any other jobs or anything? Like,
Yeah, she got Kamiya's offer, turned it down, then apparently didn't hear anything from them for 11 months until she got the offer for the cameo role. And I just wonder, what were you doing during that 11? What have you been doing the past 8 years? Why is that leaving you? What has she been doing for 8 years? And why is it Platinum Games' fault that she almost went homeless and thought about killing herself?
Which God, what a fucking what a fucking move to bring up. That God, that's
Yeah,
oh,
it's
rubs me.
maybe not the best use of this phrase, but it's mixing business with pleasure, in that she's bringing her personal baggage into this professional situation, which is not a good look ever.
Yeah, on top of the fact that, like, it's not a good look for people who. And now I want to be very careful when I say this. I'm obviously not saying that Helena didn't experience these feelings or didn't experience this depression. But it's also considering the fact that she's being as scummy as she is. This isn't a good look for people who have these mental health issues. So you're not doing
Or does it
them
really help
anything.
prove your case in any way?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
at the end of the day, you're doing nobody any favor.
All it
Least
does,
of all yourself.
all it does is reinforce that, with me or against me mentality.
Yep.
Over.
Which, I mean, hey, if that's how you want to be, good for you, but don't drag other people down if you're going to do it.
Love
Fucking
actors, I
fine.
wish her all the joy in the world. I wish her all the jobs, but she has no right to say she is the voice of Bayonetta. I created that voice. She has no right to sign merchandise as Bayonetta.
Yeah, this is where she really started to lose me when I heard this the first time. You have no right to play this role. Well, I mean, clearly she did. She accepted the fucking role.
She's the
getting
one.
paid to do it.
Yeah,
So-
she's the
Job.
one who auditioned and was decidedly the best.
So yeah, at face value, this is already
Like,
bad.
to make her eat her own words, you have no right. Who the fuck are you to say who can and can't call themselves Bayonetta? You're not the
Yeah.
one that's actually signing who actually plays the role here. You're not the fucking auditioning director or whatever the fuck.
And even, at face value, this is bad. This is not a good thing to say. But when you take into consideration that this is towards Jennifer Hale, who is a pretty she's one of the most popular voice actresses, I would dare say, at the moment. Like, she's up there with, wow, I completely forgot her. She plays Harley Quinn, Timmy Turner, Luce.
Tara Strong.
Tara Strong, yes, thank you. Jennifer Hale's up there with Tara Strong as far as, notoriety goes. She's very beloved, and she's notoriously a wonderful person. Like, the first thing that happened, or one of the first thing that Steve Bloom said, who by the way is a Chad, the first thing that he said after this set of videos went up was, he said, "I just want to make it clear, all that stuff being said about Jennifer Hale, like, she is a wonderful person with a very strong reputation in the voice acting community, and anyone saying anything bad about her needs to piss off." He didn't directly call out Hellena Taylor, and he very well might not have even been talking about her, but yeah, I'm like, it's not good when you throw someone under the bus. It's really not good when it's someone that's, pretty beloved.
Well liked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially considering the fact
it
that
just comes off as trying to tarnish their character.
Yeah, it's very
Yeah.
petty.
especially considering the fact that, I'm sorry, but Jennifer Hale is known for a role that is way bigger than Bayonetta.
She's known for a couple of them, yeah.
Yeah, most
Oh, what the-
notably being Commander Shepard.
I don't know what the fuck this bitch has done outside of Bayonetta and fucking Hellsing Ultimate. I don't remember
Exactly.
anything from that IMDb page. Not fucking thing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Spend
Meanwhile, we got
take 5 seconds to look at Jennifer Hale's discography or bibliography, whatever it is, and it's like, yeah, that thing's fucking
I'm sure there'd
huge.
be something. I'm sure there'd be something I'd know her from.
Oh,
I
yeah.
can guarantee.
I'd be like, oh shit, that was you? Fuck.
Oh, she was Sam in Totally Spies. Oh, that's cool.
Wait, she was?
Yeah. Sam is the
Fuck.
redhead green suit, right?
No, I I know Totally Spies.
Yeah,
Pretty sure Sam is the redhead one, yeah.
But yeah, let me so on her Wikipedia page, if you click on the filmography tab, it just pulls a link to her filmography. It's its own thing. That's how big her filmography is.
Jesus fucking Christ. Meanwhile,
This bitch do
fucking-
work.
fucking Taylor hasn't worked in the voice acting scene for 8 fucking years.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm
she
really
was,
surprised you guys didn't know that, by the way.
Oh, well,
Didn't
I
know
had
what.
no reason to believe that, to be
Oh, the
honest.
8-year. Yeah, I
Yep.
just didn't know about it.
Yeah, no. it's bad with that in context.
Oh, absolutely.
Yo.
That makes her look so
Yo, Jennifer Hale was number 86 in Codename Kids Next Door. Fucking based.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I didn't know
This
that.
bitch is in some shit that I. Okay.
Dude, I'm telling you. Oh,
All
she
right.
she was one of the Hex girls in Scooby Doo the Witch's Ghost. All right.
Don't remember that movie, but dope.
Jennifer Hale, you were a huge part of my sexual awakening to golf girls, so.
Rip. But yeah, this bitch definitely has a wide discography, much bigger than fucking Taylor's from
Uh-huh.
the sounds of it.
If Hale came up to this asking for 6 figures, it would be slightly distasteful, but it would make more sense coming out of her because she's actually been in this game for a while. 8 years, and you've done fuck all.
8 years, and this is all you have to show for it. These Twitter videos.
I was gonna say 8 years, you become most known for this one character, and now you're gonna burn it all to the ground over this one character. Like, damn.
Yeah, this is the most acting she's done in 8 fucking years.
The Twitter videos? Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Fucking idiot. God. Her, not you.
I know.
Oh,
how dare you, you fucking asshole.
She also
Okay.
voiced Avatar Kyoshi in Avatar The Last Airbender.
Never watched it, but, you know, that's just another thing that
Ooh.
proves to me she's got a very big discography, because I know that show is widely beloved.
Oh,
It's very much so.
It's Kino.
It's got a passionate fan base.
I have a lot of friends that have watched it that have all told me to watch it, and I just haven't. But it's one of those things that
Good
I
friends.
know I should do.
Yep, very much worth it. But
Yeah. I mean, I have seen an episode or two. I know it's got really good writing and characters. I won't lie there.
Oh yeah.
All right. Anyway, back on topic. Fuck Hellena Taylor.
Any more than I have the right to sign as Eva Green, even though I was her parrot on the video game The Golden Compass.
Oh, she brought it up.
She brought up the Golden Compass? I forgot about that.
She brought up the Golden Compass. Nobody gives a fuck.
Hellena, breaking news.
Okay.
No one gives a fuck about a throwaway voice
I
in the
worked
Golden
on
Compass.
games too. Look at me.
Uh-huh.
Here's the thing, right? All right. If Hellena Taylor had created Bayonetta, that'd be one thing. She hasn't.
You
Like,
don't own
she's-
the rights to this character in any
Yeah,
way. You got
did-
paid to do a role, which was voice acting them. That doesn't give you any sort of right to the character.
Yeah.
You got paid to do a job.
I told
It's kind of like
I told Luce this back when we were talking about this before. It'd be like, imagine if Anthony Hopkins, which he wouldn't because he's a fucking wonderful human being, but imagine if Anthony Hopkins went to Mads Mikkelsen and was like, "You are not Hannibal Lecter. You don't have the right to call yourself Hannibal Lecter." You're like, "Fuck you, Mads Mikkelsen's awesome."
It's. But I mean,
Oh yeah, watch
this
Hannibal. It's really
is
good.
even more different than that though, because this is voice acting. Like, at least with like real, well, yeah, what we wanted to find is real
Live
acting
action.
here. But you know, live action acting, yeah. At least with that, like when it comes to actors, they pretty much do make the character because it's more than just their voice, it's their mannerisms, it's their look, it's the way they
Oh yeah.
literally are on screen in every scene. Versus, a voice actor, you only get what you can hear from them.
which, admittedly enough, is important. But like,
Yeah, I'm not trying to discredit its importance because that is a large part of acting. But
And in some
if
ways,
you can mimic a voice and mannerisms, then it's that. At least in terms of audio, that's a lot easier to do than actually replacing an entire look. You know what I mean?
yeah. I will say
You're not replacing an image.
It can
You're
definitely
just trying to mimic a voice, if that makes sense.
It can definitely help when there's motion capture in the game. Like it's it's kind of smaller.
Oh, yeah, if
it's not
if
something
it's motion
that people,
cap, that's a little different too.
Yeah. But even still, it's just
Shout out to Ruben Langdon.
Because this is just pure voice acting. If she was motion capture, I think she'd have more of a point there. Because then you would have like somewhat have made the character your own because you actually personified them more than just speaking for them, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. It's
the
kinda like
example that came to my mind were the Devil May Cry voice actors because most of them are very athletic and were also Power Rangers, so they do a lot of their own motion capturing. Which I mean, it's Devil May Cry. They do some, they do the wacky wahoo flippy shit.
Hmm.
So
yeah.
when Dan Southworth is doing parkour and throwing his body up in the air and turning 360 degrees over his head and landing perfectly on his feet with incredible posture in a specific pose. That's when I'm like, yeah, yeah, that's him. It's basically just
That
him.
definitely takes what I'm saying to it like defines what I'm trying to say here basically because it's like
Right.
then you are personifying the character with more than just your voice. It's all
Yeah, it's
about
kinda
your
like
actual you are personifying that character. You're making them your own by what you're actually doing, your mannerisms, your actions, down to how they actually land like that jump like you're saying. So,
yeah.
Right.
Which is actually it's pretty funny too, because Ruben Langdon had said in a, panel at one point that he had specifically gone for,
You're trailing off
like
so much. Like it sounds like you're walking away as you speak.
I have no idea why, I apologize. But, Ruben Langdon had specifically said at a panel at some convention or something like that, that, when he was recommending actors for Devil May Cry 3, he had specifically recommended people who had worked on Power Rangers before because of the fact that he knew that they would be able to, you know, create big motion and stuff like that. And that's how we got the majority of the cast in Devil May Cry 3. Thanks to Ruben.
Yep.
yeah,
He's a
that's
cool
fair.
dude, minus his weird uh, conspiracy shit. Yeah.
Funnily enough, Johnny Young Bosch actually auditioned for Dante at first.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, but then they gave it to Ruben Langdon.
Ironic.
Indeed. But
That
anyway,
betrayal is hers and hers alone. They'll probably try and do a spin-off with Jan. Don't buy that either.
Okay.
oh, God, she's so smug about it.
When you
It's petty as shit.
when you throw in Jen like specifically
I mean,
in that mention, that's it comes off as if
don't-
you're specifically targeting her.
Don't
isn't it
don't
pronounced
support
John
this bitch.
anyway?
I wish her the best. Don't support her.
I think she said Jen like just with the accent going into the
But still, it's like I wish her all the best as a voice actor. Don't
don't buy her
support her though.
things. Yeah, yeah.
Don't support her. It's just
Yeah.
what the fuck.
Like it'd be
Oh,
one thing
God.
it'd be one thing if like completely separate from this, like in some other part of this video or even another video, she had said, they'll probably do a spin-off without me. Like if you said without me, because that's reinforces that you're not going to be involved with them again, that would make sense. But when you say they're probably going to do a spin-off with her, don't buy that either. Like it's not even about Platinum anymore. It's about her, and you're going for the
Yeah.
throat.
This
Yup.
is very clearly just about Taylor at this point and what she wanted and how
This
she
is
was
sour
apparently
grapes.
wronged. Yeah. This entire thing just really rubs me the wrong way. Like, you're not making yourself look any better. You're really not.
Yeah, when your response to being wronged is to start swinging, it's harder to get behind you, even if you are in the right. But in this case, she's not, so it's
Oh
just
no, she's the recognizable voice actor. She's got every right to be Bayonetta. You don't understand.
she is Bayonetta, just like whoever the fuck is whoever the fuck in the Golden Compass
she's
video game.
she's basically Bayonetta for real.
For real,
For real, for real. She's just like Bayonetta.
literally the same person.
Buy that either.
Oh,
That
Oh, God.
smug, that
What the
smug.
fuck happened?
did she have?
We transition.
Did she like have a throwdown like in between these?
I don't know, but
What
like
the fuck happened?
That's
that
sectary.
smug fucking. Oh God, yeah, that smug fucking smile at the end. It reaffirms everything. Like she's just. I
It
mean, I don't
makes
know.
it feels like when you see that kind of look on her face, that it comes off as if she's very conscious of what she's doing and taking a bit
Absolutely.
taking a fair amount of pride in it, which is not a good look.
No, this is not something that you should take pride in when you're calling for people to boycott something that countless people worked for 4 fucking years on with blood,
I
sweat,
mean,
and tears every day.
like I said, it's very petty, and
You know, it kind of
I don't know.
it's going to recontextualize the end credits because I'm just going to read all the names and be like, man, she really throwing all these people under the under the bus.
Hey.
Can't wait to see that.
They should have like a little throw in at the end, like just in the corner of the end credits where they're like, these are all the people that Hellena Taylor wants to see broke.
Oh, fuck.
And at the bottom is Hideki Kamiya.
Don't even throw her name in there. Just put a little text blurb in the bottom right corner that's like, "These are all the people you tried throwing under the bus, bitch."
Oh,
It's
cold blood.
So this is video 4.
Yep. This is my favorite. This is when she starts quoting Jesus Christ in the Sermon on the Mount.
Yeah.
You didn't hear about that?
I don't know if I remember this.
Oh man, let's
I
go.
have to hear this again.
Let's fucking go.
Fuck.
Stop.
Sorry.
You're good.
So, to Kamiya, the presidents of Nintendo, and all other fat cats around the world,
God.
I would like to quote to you from the greatest moral teacher who ever lived, Jesus Christ. from his parable-
Stop! Stop! Oh my god! Shut the fuck up, please! Stop talking!
The greatest moral teacher who have ever lived, Jesus Christ himself.
My Lord and
Yes.
Spoke to me
Savior.
in a dream last night about my faith.
The greatest
He
moral
told me
teacher.
I'm basically Bayonetta.
The greatest moral teacher ever. God who flooded the world.
He told me I'm literally Bayonetta for real, for real.
I can't take this bitch seriously. I couldn't before, but I'm never going to ever again.
you, bro. Is it starting to click now?
Jesus Christ, that is awful. That is not how you lead this.
Oh man.
Jesus.
What a turn too. Like just so left field.
It fucking is.
To all you pieces of shit, allow me to quote the great Martin Luther King.
Shit.
Oh god.
Mahatma Gandhi once said,
To all you neo-Nazi Hitler supporter fucks. Allow me to teach you some Jesus, motherfucker.
Okay. Alright, Helena. Alright, you've clearly been hitting the sauce a little too hard, alright? Go to
"That's
bed,
what
Mom.
happened. That's what happened."
She should have just started this video with "Y'all motherfuckers need Jesus."
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
I would have been on her side.
infinitely better.
other fat cats around the world. I would like to quote to you from the greatest moral teacher who ever lived, Jesus Christ, from his parable of Lazarus and the rich man.
Oh my
Lazarus
god.
was a poor beggar with sores all over.
Your net worth is $1 million.
Fuck! Oh, poor beggar! I didn't work in the voice acting industry for 8 years. I sat around on my ass for 11 months. Yeah, you really are a poor fucking beggar, aren't you? Jesus, fuck.
I truly
Projection?
am. I truly am like that leper that Jesus chose to save once.
Oh god, this entire thing has just been her e-begging for fucking 3 weeks.
I mean, to be fair, it is just like church people to go begging for money, so.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh
You're
god,
right.
now she's bringing Jesus into this. Fuck.
If there is a god,
Please
you know he's
support
just.
my cause. I'm on the side of Jesus himself.
I can
there is
imagine. I can imagine if there was a god, he's just looking down like, no,
Oh my
shut
God,
the fuck
she's
up, shut the
basic-
fuck up, shut the fuck up.
She's turning into a what are they called?
Televangelist.
Televangelist.
Yeah, that. I can't pronounce it. Fuck, but yeah,
Yeah.
that.
If I
I can
remember,
just imagine. Go ahead.
if I remember correctly, I think she follows Joel Olstein, who he's like the most known and infamous televangelist ever. So
Oh no. Oh
I
god.
could just imagine God sitting on a cloud being like, I don't claim her.
Stop
this is
speaking for my son.
this is what incites the second coming. He just shows up. He's like, guys, this isn't even the rapture. Like, this bitch is full of shit. Okay.
Just shows up and slaps her in the middle of the video. Like, shut up, bitch.
Jesus saying, shut up, bitch, is the most hilarious thing to think of ever. I mean, hey, he was human. He could cuss.
Jesus just comes down. You got the light, the choir, the trumpets, and the birds, and all that stuff. It's like, my lord, shut up, bitch.
I didn't die for your sins for you to come back and do this shit.
I got a fucking crown of thorns jammed into my skull so you could say the stupid shit.
Oh, for real.
Hey, Luce, you ever see Passion of the Christ?
No, I've never seen Passion of the Christ.
Movie's fucking brutal. Anyways.
Fat cats around the world. I would like to quote to you
Oh,
the
damn
greatest
it.
moral teacher who ever lived, Jesus Christ, from his parable.
I can't. I'm sorry. I can't. Every time she says it, it just gets
The
funny.
greatest This bitch sounds like a... You guys don't know him, but Tomboy. My fucking lolcow. Straight up. He's just giving me
I've heard the
Tomboy vibes
stories.
right now. Just giving me Tomboy vibes right now with the whole moral grandstand and calling me a good Christian boy and shit. Like,
I didn't know I was in church. I'm remembering why I stopped going.
right, so everyone pull out your Bibles.
No.
Of Lazarus and the rich man. Lazarus was a poor beggar with sores all over his body, and he lived outside the house of a rich man who banqueted and feasted every day and wore purple. Lazarus even hoped for even a scrap
Bitch,
of
you're
the
wearing
rich
purple.
man's table, which he never gave Lazarus.
You work as a voice actor with a net worth of $1 million and you haven't done it in 8 years. Ah!
You see how bad that is in context, right? Like,
Right, yeah, like,
totally a poor beggar. You're totally not the fat cat sitting around that you're like, fuck.
I mean,
Yeah,
she's
also-
right. She's definitely a beggar because she's not going to fucking work and actually making her money.
yeah,
but
and also,
she's,
like,
she's met the two. She's the fat cat and the beggar.
She's the
Also,
fat
yeah.
cat who's begging for money. Yeah.
also, yeah, as you mentioned, Psycho. God forbid she happens to wear purple during this entire story.
Yeah, she's wearing purple. And she's like, "That's just
What?
How coincidental? Just how coincidental is that?"
Also, like, these had to have been posted over multiple days. Why is she still wearing the same shirt in all of these videos?
No, these were all posted at once.
Oh, okay.
I assume
Why
she
did
just.
she make like 4 of them? Why did you
All
do
posted at
one?
once?
I think that Twitter has. I might be wrong about this. I don't go on Twitter. I don't have a Twitter anymore. But I think Twitter has a limit to video time of like 2 minutes. And each one of them is about 2 minutes. So
Why does she look like she's had a fight in between some of them? Like she's been
Jesus
decked in the
Christ.
face.
I thought she had a throwdown, but all right.
Only the dogs pitied him and licked his sores. Lazarus died, and the angels took him straight up to heaven, to the bosom of Abraham. Meanwhile, the rich man went to hell and suffered torment, and in his torment he
Yeah, her
cried out
camera
to
is still
Abraham.
sliding. That's very. What the fuck? What is happening with her fucking camera? I just don't.
So
I think. Go ahead.
two things. For one, telling them like you're gonna go to hell. I'm just like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah, that's one way to do it, I guess.
when you wish eternal suffering on someone, it's like I don't think you're really thinking that through. But also,
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about the context of the story. I'm like, this guy worked his ass off so that he could have like a really nice home and have a cool life, and he's just brought to hell because he happened to be rich. Like, fuck, it's a sham.
What an asshole! How dare he?
Yeah, what a fucking douchebag, obviously.
You know, it's funny too because I bet if there was a homeless person outside Hellena Taylor's house, she wouldn't know because she never fucking leaves it, apparently.
She
No.
hasn't worked in 8 years, guys.
He's not voice acting. Been living off them royalties, probably.
Mm.
Abraham, please save me. Take me up to heaven. To which Abraham said, you had.
I can't watch this. I can't watch this without fear of bursting out laughing every fucking second. This is too hilarious.
My brother, we made it through 3 Mayo videos in a row in one episode. We can do this.
Bro, I don't know. Mayo doesn't have the power of Hellena Taylor.
Can we do 4 videos of Hellena Taylor, though?
We're almost done. Less than a minute.
In his torment, he cried out to Abraham, Abraham, please save me. Take me up to heaven. To which Abraham said, you had your joy in life. Now this is set for eternity. So he said, please
What a
tell
fucking
my brothers
shit
who are
deal.
living like I was. Send them a messenger so they can repent. To which Abraham said, we've sent you Moses and the prophets.
Is this bitch reading off a
But if
script?
you send Lazarus, if a man comes back from the dead, they will listen to him.
I get the vibe she's reading off of a script for some reason.
Listen to Moses and the prophets. It's unlikely
It's
that
called
you'll
the Bible.
listen to a man who is risen from the dead. I would like to thank you, the fans who have followed me on Twitter, commented kindly and liked my work. Bless you. I wish you all the joy and luck in the world.
I love you too.
Fuck
random-
everybody else.
I love you too, random citizen. Continue to
Oh, yeah.
support me and send me money.
It definitely has that vibe. That's for damn sure.
Oh, what a
Give me money.
fucking. You ever just feel like punching yourself as hard as you can in the dick?
No.
Maybe not the dick, no, but
As a matter of fact, I very rarely have that inclination.
it rarely implies you still do. I never have.
Don't ask what I do on my
Once-
Friday nights.
Once in a blue moon, you know. When I really need that extra
Oh,
kick or punch.
Maybe
if
I
you will.
punch myself in the face or something, but temple maybe. Knock myself out for a little bit. Maybe forget this.
Forget this fresh hell we call a world.
Wake up the next morning. Why do I hate English women now? What the fuck?
That's just an indent of my ring in there. Like, what the fuck happened?
So, that happened, and then
So that happens.
a couple of it took a couple days. Of course, plenty of people had knee-jerk reactions. One of my favorites, if I can find it, 'cause I had it pulled up earlier. Shit, where is it?
We're professionals, by the way.
Yes,
We are
very
professionals. Of course.
We're the professionals.
Where is she? Looking for a specific person's post about all of this. Oh, here it is. So, and this is someone who I generally have a fair amount of respect for, but just such a head-ass moment. So this person said, and I'm about to tell you who they are. This person said, just be nice to your fans and make your voice actors feel valued. If any game devs see this, don't be like Kamiya.
Oh God!
The person who
I
posted
know
this,
exactly who you're talking about.
person who posted this was Susie Sphere Hunter, who not only has followed Kamiya for years now, but of course she said this almost right after. I want to say it was the day after Hellena Taylor had posted these videos. And
It's a great look
Saucy.
for her, obviously.
Saucy.
and my thing is, I posted about this on my YouTube channel, but I saw so many people who for years just completely ignored Kamiya being the biggest piece of shit. And it's like, they try to make a little joke out of it. It's like, oh yeah, he blocks people on Twitter and calls them insects, lol. And so let's ignore the fact that he's being a fucking xenophobe about it. You know, they tried to make it all into a big joke. But the moment that he allegedly gives a voice actor a shitty offer, that's crossing the line. That's too much. Don't be like him.
Which, by the way, as far as we know, directors don't even fucking handle how much an actor gets paid. Let's not forget that.
It just goes to show you where people's priorities are.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. And again, like, there's no fucking way that Taylor didn't know that this exact thing would happen.
Stand up for the whammon.
Stand up for the
Yeah.
whammon and the people not getting paid fairly. Like this person with $1 million net worth who hasn't been fucking voice acting for God knows how long. Oh, wait, we do know how long. 8 years!
Yeah, and expects to just walk in and get 6 figures. I don't feel appreciated. Ugh. Like, damn, how spoiled were you?
Oh,
So, anyways, I'm not trying to stir shit. I doubt she would even fucking see this. I don't think she'd even give a shit. But
I don't care what she thinks. Fuck her.
Nah, bro, I'll share this out on my YouTube channel. You'll
get 'em. But
she'll totally notice then, right? I have so much clout.
yeah.
Nah, for real though, I can share this out on my since I'm on it and shit. Might as well.
Appreciate that. But
Hey, bro,
and I'm not even saying that to like necessarily stir shit with her. The point was to emphasize I saw so many fucking people doing this, and it was so strange to me. I'm like, this guy's been a dick for like so many years now that he's basically become known for it. But this is where people draw the line. And that's just so strange to me. But of course the really big follow-up, the thing that actually matters, is on October 18th, 3 days after. There's a Bloomberg report from a certain Jason. I can't say this name, I swear to God. Jason Schreier, who is pretty well known as far as game journalism goes, especially for.
Pretty sure you said it right, Jason Schreier, because yeah, I know him.
Oh, I
I've
just
heard
mean
him.
like saying. I want to say Jason, like whenever I go to say it. But
Okay. I see now.
yeah, I'm illiterate. I'm illiterate as fuck and about to be homeless, and I want to shoot myself.
Rip.
He's just like me for real, for real.
For real.
Rest in Paris. Oh yeah, I've coined that for like ever since my first Mayo video.
Trademark Psychonautic Therapy.
Rest in Paris.
But this guy's pretty well known for not only very accurate reports, but he's typically had a pretty positive influence. Like apparently a lot of his reports have to do with crunch culture and like trouble development and mismanagement and things like that. So this is the kind of guy you think that when he breaks news, it's going to be on the side of Hellena because he's the kind of guy who typically sticks up for the working man. But as it turns out, his report details a lot of things that Hellena Taylor decided to omit. Probably the most notable being that the actual offer to her was between $3,000 and $4,000 per session for a minimum of 5 sessions, which would add up to between $15,000 to $20,000 for her entire role.
Well, and that's just at a minimum of like 5 sessions. It could have been more.
Yeah,
Yep.
there could have been any number of, mistakes or additions to her dialogue, anything like that.
So
So,
she could have got a couple extra grand from that or something.
yeah.
If they had to redo anything.
It's a pretty hefty amount of money. Just gonna be on.
That's a pretty good amount of money. And not only that, but in his report there were details of apparently Platinum Games really wanted her on for this and tried approaching her a number of times, but she kept turning them down, kept turning down their offers, demanding 6 figures, which they weren't willing to budge on because that is a massive amount of money. And
Yep.
Bayonetta, it's not $500 million, but it makes a pretty fair amount of money. But that's quite a bit to ask for. I wouldn't. It is a AAA game, but it's not like Last of Us. It's not making millions upon tens of millions.
Yeah.
But in any event, and apparently after all of that, she was eventually approached. They were like, "Okay, we got a new voice actress. We'd still love to have you as a cameo, so we'll offer you $4,000 flat for that cameo for 1 session, handful of lines. No big deal. Come in and do them, make your money, and you can go on about your ways." She turned down that also. So a lot of things pretty heavily contradicted in her video, or videos, plural. And that was the moment where instantly, a lot of the people who were on her side decided to have a knee-jerk reaction and, anti-boycott the game, basically.
Which
And
makes a little bit of sense.
which makes sense, but also, just this entire time I was thinking to myself, did we not learn our lesson the first time? Should we not, wait just to see what's said before we just start jumping from one side to another? That was my thought, at least.
Oh, that's fair. That was my initial take on this.
But let me pull up the actual report. Make sure I don't miss anything. Why do so many ads though? So many ads
Because
on a fucking
money.
article.
fuck us.
Yeah, pretty
Money.
much. I can't even.
They're gonna shove it right in without any lube.
Give
Oh.
me money.
My goodness. There was one more thing I was wanting to read, but there's literally an ad blocking it. Fucking hell.
Fuck.
Loveless, you're not monetized. I was gonna start saying, hey, donate money.
Hopefully soon. I'm approaching 600, I think.
Yeah, I remember you were over 500 last I checked, which that's good for you, man.
I think I think Brother Near sent a few because that fucking Ultra Kill stream I did got 1,500 views. I was like, dang, where'd that come from?
Oh yeah, probably. Especially with the whole Ultra Kill Mayo stuff going on as well. It's a hot topic, so.
Oh yeah. But she said something to Hellena Taylor said something to the effect of regarding this report that Platinum was just trying to cover their asses and that they're full of shit and that she's done with this. This was the big thing that I took away from it. She was like, I'm done with this. I'm done with all of this. I'm going to pursue my career in theater and I want to leave this franchise and all of this behind me. And it's like, well, you know what? She clearly was dishonest, burning a bridge. But it's really strange when the person who insists that they're done with this and doesn't want to talk about it anymore, 6 days later decides to have a massive Twitter thread.
Well, that's not that is relevant. Don't get me wrong here, but she already flipped the script there when she said, "I'm done with this. I don't want to deal with it anymore," because she very clearly did when she said she was trying to stand up and fight for the moral grandstand thing she was doing, for the
Right.
underpaid workers and shit. And it's all of a sudden, well, I'm done here. I don't want to deal with this anymore. Which is it?
Yeah, and it certainly doesn't help. I don't have them pulled up, but anyone can look these up. So her Twitter thread, we're just gonna go through these one by. Well, I'll read through the whole thing because it's pretty much all together. She said this. Well, today's the 25th, so this was yesterday. She said, "It's come to my attention that some people are calling me a liar and gold digger. First of all, I don't know who's calling her a gold digger because this doesn't have anything to do with some man or some woman, but misuse of a word. I feel the need to defend myself and my reputation in this industry. As I posted on part 3 of my video thread, I explained that their first offer was too low. That offer was $10,000 total. Remember, this is a $450 million franchise, not counting merchandise.
It's not.
So,
sorry.
No, it's fine. I was going to stop there. It's interesting because she says that her first offer was $10,000 when in the video she said that her second offer was $4,000. But I digress.
It also just rubs me the wrong way that she keeps she just has to keep reiterating, oh yeah, this is how much this franchise is worth.
Yeah, I think it comes off as if she's trying to paint up Platinum and all of them as, they're the big evil corporation men in the suits, with all their money looking down on us working folk, that kind of narrative.
Yeah.
And she goes on to say, I then wrote in Japanese to Hideki Kamiya, which, hang on, you said that you contacted someone who works there that speaks Japanese to talk.
No, I wrote it.
Yeah. Now, this is it's a completely inconsequential detail, but it's an inconsistency which doesn't help
I
when
wrote
you're
it.
being referred to as dishonest.
No. And again, the whole in Japanese thing is also not something that we would need to know because, of course, you would write to him in Japanese. Why wouldn't you?
I'm just gonna throw it out there. If she can speak Japanese, granted, she said write, so reading and writing and speaking obviously very different. But if she knows Japanese, I'm just saying that expands her voice acting career potential. But I'll leave. I'll leave.
um,
Not after
also,
this, it doesn't.
Not
heads
after
up,
this. No, no.
I'm gonna have to head out in a few, by the way.
No
Okay,
problem.
Would
Yeah.
you just like to take any last comments? Would you like
I
to?
got about another 10 minutes, so we can
Okay.
keep going before I do gotta leave. I'm just
Cool.
giving a heads up.
666.
So I then wrote in Japanese to Hideki Kamiya asking for what I was worth. I thought that as a creative, he would understand. He replied saying how much he valued my contribution to the game and how much the fans wanted me to voice the game. I was then offered an extra 5,000. So I declined to voice the game. I then heard nothing from them for 11 months. Then they offered me a flat fee to voice some lines for $4,000. Any other lies, such as 4,000 for 5 sessions, are total fabrications. There were not extensive negotiations. I've also been informed of ridiculous fictions, such as that I asked for $250,000. I'm a team player. I was just asking for a fair living wage in line with the value that I bring to this game.
Well,
I-
from what I know, I didn't hear 250,000. I heard 6 figures.
Yeah, it's weird that she would come up with this number that nobody mentioned and then not proceed to correct it.
Also, she says any other lies, such as like the 4,000 for the 5 sessions, were fabrications. Yet she fails to provide any receipts or any sort of evidence that would back up that claim.
Well, not only that, but apparently she she appears quite incapable of math because the actual report said 3 to 4,000 per session for 5 sessions, which would add up to 15,000 to 20,000 after her offer from Kamiya. And she said that after Kamiya, her offer was $15,000, 5,000 on top of 10,000, which lines up with what the report said, but she's also calling it a fabrication.
Oh, so it's even more inconsistent.
That's
So she-
My source, my source is trust me, bro.
The source is that I made
made
the
it the
fuck up.
fuck up. Yep.
Mhm.
Same brain cells.
It's just, how can you be that inconsistent? I don't understand this bitch right now.
I don't either.
Obviously I understand she's trying to push an agenda, but she's really stupid is what I'm saying. I don't understand that.
Yeah, and it's just it's a very much a cried wolf kind of situation almost, where she can
Yeah.
keep talking, but the more she does, the less I'm going to believe her because
Yeah.
even if she was telling the truth, there's so many other things she said that weren't in line with it that how could I possibly believe her? And why would it even matter if she was telling the truth at that point?
Yeah, and the thing is, she could also just be sprinkling in truth with lies, which that's not a good thing, especially when you're being
Yeah.
claimed for being dishonest, because then no one's going to believe anything you say.
Yeah.
I could not talk about the game because of NDAs, but I happily
you broke
answered. Yeah, the NDA that she broke, or at least she insinuates that she broke in her video.
I couldn't do it because of the NDA, but I still did it because fuck the NDA.
Yeah.
Bro, just believe me.
But I happily answered fan letters, emails, signed posters, recorded voice messages for weddings and birthdays. So this is immediately she starts trying to save face by saying, "Look how nice I've been to all of you."
Yet more irrelevant details that don't change the situation in the slightest, and
This
we
has
don't need to know.
nothing to do with anything.
This is my dog stepped on a B tier.
I kept up interest in the game during the long periods of radio silence from Platinum. Okay. How, when, and who cares?
Exactly. See, here's the thing. You've been reading this off, but I've been spending the last 10 minutes looking for who the fuck asked.
My favorite part, didn't even have to ask for any of this. The only time I was ever at a game conference, I felt weird asking fans for money for a signature, as they had already paid for the game, and I was just grateful that they liked my work and the character. So I donated 100% of signing fees to charity. I'll
Yet
po-
another irrelevant detail.
I'll post the 14 charities so that you can donate to charity instead of buying this game from corrupt, greedy people. There are people who are attempting to throw shade and discredit what I say. The industry is powerful. They have powerful journalists. They have powerful journalists too. They are trying to save their assets. Don't fall for it. So,
Holier than thou bullshit.
yeah,
Yep.
a whole lot of look at me being the nice person. I'm so humble. I'm such a wonderful self-aware person. I'm just so great, you know. I don't ask for money. I donate to charity. I
Have you guys
respond
heard
to
of
all your
Jesus?
Have you heard of Jesus Christ Superstar?
Ugh.
Um and yeah, just more of that trying to paint them up. You know, again, they're the evil, they're the big wig company making all the money, trying to make things harder for us working folk. When in reality, she's making things harder for the fucking working class. But
Yep.
whatever.
It's exactly like Psychonaut said. She's burning the fuck out of these bridges, and she doesn't care who she's trapping.
And
Pretty much.
Jason Schreier did a few tweets. I haven't read all of them, but I just read the first one, and it was funny because he said, "So yeah, a Bayonetta voice actress confirms that what I said about the 15,000 to 20,000 offer." I'm like, yeah, she fucking called you a liar while simultaneously confirming what you said. Like,
Fucking space
Yep.
Jennifer Hale.
how strange. Jennifer Hale, what?
Sorry, my brain skipped. I don't know.
Jason Schreier?
Continue. No, sorry, just continue.
I mean, that's
I
pretty
am
much the
gonna
end of
have
it.
to head out now though. So
It's all good. Would you like any closing comments? Would you like to tell us that your dog stepped on a bee?
yes, he did. I'm going to ask everybody to donate because we're poor, can't afford the clothes on our back, and yeah, no fuck. But no, I appreciate you having me on, Loveless. My final
Absolutely.
thoughts before I head out, I guess, on this bitch is, I mean, I've already summed it up before. It's just a lot of virtue signaling, holier than thou bullshit, especially when she starts bringing Jesus into it. Like, holy fuck, that was bad.
Ugh.
And she can't keep her story. She can't keep her story straight. She keeps flipping the script constantly. And I find it kind of funny that she even confirms what that guy reported about it while denying it was true at the same time. That just goes to show you how poorly she's really handling the situation while trying to manipulate everyone's perspective. So I never really trusted her. I wanted to wait for the facts to come out, and I'm glad I did because it just seems like she's making it worse and worse for herself with every step.
Yeah, it's a pretty strong case for why people need to be careful about knee-jerk reactions.
Yep. You need to wait for the facts to come out before you start just judging things right off the bat. I agree.
Yeah, and for what
But
it's
with all that being said, though, that is my final takes on her for now.
absolutely. It was
But
wonderful having you on. It was nice to talk to you again.
yeah, no,
Absolutely.
I appreciate y'all having me on. It was good talking to you, Loveless. We should hang out some more sometime. You know,
Absolutely.
hang out with the femboy.
Oh yeah, I'll be lurking in his server a bit more lately.
Oh yeah, but yeah, I appreciate you having me on, homie. And thanks for it. I guess you know we'll be talking again.
Thanks for coming and have a wonderful
Take care,
night.
Psycho.
Yeah, you guys too. Enjoy the rest of this, or
Oh, it's gonna be
however much you
painful.
can, I guess.
Mwah, mwah.
Yeah, have a good one, boys.
Good night, kisses.
And now there's just the two of us.
Indeed.
All my homies hate Hellena Taylor.
Yeah. We're supposed to have a couple more people. I'm just saying this for listeners who were like, "Wait a minute, there's supposed to be a couple more," but they must have gotten caught. They must have got caught up in other stuff, which is fine. You know, stuff happens.
It
Um,
seems that
I was gonna say something. Oh yeah. For what it's worth, we're still waiting on statements from Platinum and or Nintendo, preferably both. Also, preferably Kamiya. Like, yeah, he's a dick, but I would.
yeah.
I said dick, but.
Yeah, I would also like a statement from Kamiya.
Wow, just sandbag my fucking joke, why don't you?
Sorry.
You know what? It's okay.
I'll bag your sand if that makes any difference.
You ever just like hold a titty that feels like a sandbag?
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. Anywho, back to Black Ops 2 Zombies. What were we talking about?
I believe we're talking about how Helena Taylor has managed to completely and totally shoot her fucking career in the foot.
Yeah, and I mentioned this in the Bayonetta stream. Even if she was completely in the right, this is not the way to handle your business. This is, again, even if she had been right, this was so fucking unprofessional. And
Yeah.
any company would have to be fucking insane to want to hire her after this. Like, other
Yeah,
voice
and
actors are already going to have their troubles because of this, but her, like, this was career suicide before the details came out, but now that the details are out, oof, she's on the blacklist.
Yeah. I mean, it's exactly. I mean, I really do think Psychonautic put it the best. She burned every single bridge she had, and she did not give a fuck who got hurt because of it. She wanted
Yeah,
her money, and that was all she cared about.
indeed.
And now, because of it, so many voice actors are going to end up suffering. So, fucking thanks for that, Helena.
Yeah, I get a really bad feeling that certain companies are going to be less inclined to deal with voice actors who have like union support, things like that. Especially more,
Oh yeah,
dare I
it's probably
say,
going to be hell for unions now.
oh yeah, this is gonna be its own stir of shit for them. It's
Which again, fucking thanks, Helena.
yeah, and just to reiterate again, like even if she were right, she fucked so many things up about it and was so unprofessional
Yeah,
about it.
unfortunately, like yeah, because even if she was right, now there's going to be repercussions for the entire voice acting scene in general. Like, what? It's probably going to be harder for voice actors to actually get fair wages anymore. Ironically enough.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I just have this knot in my stomach. You know, like
I wouldn't I don't really know enough about the industry or what goes on behind the scenes to really say anything with confidence, but it gives me a bad feeling.
same here. I'm I'm not looking forward to what comes after this
Yeah.
because it's not going to be good for the people who have to work in the industry.
Yeah, and from what I could gather about, from people that I've talked to, they've already kind of got their own stuff to deal with. It's Helena Taylor was not the person to do this, I'll say.
No. And
If there was a voice actor who had any right to come out and say, things are not as good as they seem, it would be someone with a much greater catalog, or a much more varied, at least, catalog than her.
yeah. Um and not someone who hasn't had any fucking work for 8 goddamn years. You have been out of this game for almost a fucking decade, and you want to act as if you have any fucking right to speak for the people in it?
Yeah, also, something I didn't even think about until just now. Her being gone for so long probably contributed to why she got a lower offer, because if you've not been voice acting for 8 years,
You're probably out of practice.
yeah, like why the fuck would anyone want to pay you six figures right out the gate?
Yeah,
That's
and I can't blame
insane.
them either. Helena even said herself, sometimes voices change over the years. And when you're not fucking voice acting, what practice are you getting in? Zilch.
Yeah, and like even if you passed your audition with flying colors, an audition is not all the work you do. There's more to it.
Yeah. But, of course, just gotta fuck everything up for everybody. Because, God forbid, you don't get paid 6 figures for not doing jack shit for almost 10 fucking years.
Yeah. Like, imagine... what's a good example? Imagine if... Here's a probably a pretty decent one. This is hypothetical, but, bear with me. Imagine if Yuri Lowenthal stopped voice acting for a decade, right? And then he was offered to do, they're bringing back, I don't know, fucking Sasuke or Spider-Man or whatever. Maybe Spider-Man's a bit different because it's Marvel and Disney and they make a cajillion dollars, but, either way, it's been a long time since he's even voice acted, but he's brought back for a pretty notable role of his. I think it wouldn't be unfair if he wasn't making 6 figures for that single role, for a single game, for, 4 to 5 sessions of work.
I would be inclined to agree to an extent as well.
I don't think it would be unreasonable, depending on the role, for him to want more.
Yeah, if it was
possibly even
Spider-Man,
6 figures. Yeah, if it was Spider-Man,
Yeah.
6 figures would kind of be expected, really.
yeah, from a company like Disney who is making so much money.
Yeah,
God, they're making so much fucking money.
yeah. But hopefully you get the idea from me saying that.
Yeah, I do.
It's just
it's just-
it's not realistic. It comes off as both naive and childish, and also kind of pretentious and spoiled.
Yeah, it's essentially just her bloated fucking ego more than anything.
Yeah. And it's hard to take seriously. Like, I really get the feeling that if I was working there, like as a higher up, and someone just waltzed in and expected that much, I'd probably laugh at them.
And to be honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised if we heard that they did laugh at her, because that's an absurd money. Like, again, it mostly just comes down to the amount of time that you've been here. It doesn't fucking like. First of all, Bayonetta is not a $450 million franchise. We've
Yeah,
already confirmed it's not made that much money.
Yeah, we know it's not made that much money, and even if we didn't have the resources to figure that out, I just wouldn't fucking believe you. I'm sorry, but I could not buy that for an instant.
Yeah, unfortunately, Bayonetta is a pretty niche franchise, all things considered.
Yeah, I don't know of a single. I don't even. Not even Devil May Cry is making that. Maybe God of War. Maybe.
If we're lucky.
Yeah.
Or unlucky, depending on who you ask.
Well, yeah. Yeah, I could buy maybe God of War being that, but otherwise, no. I don't see a hack and slash action game making that kind of bank.
Neither do I. It just doesn't happen. I imagine that Devil May Cry is still one of Capcom's least profitable franchises, unfortunately.
Yeah. But even if Bayonetta was worth $1 billion fucking dollars, when you start saying things like comparing yourself to nurses going to, fucking get cheap food or whatever, what is it? Was it bread banks? Food banks? Whatever.
Yeah, they were going to food banks so that they could feed people.
Yeah, when you start comparing yourself to people in positions like that and taking this really holier than thou stance, oh, it doesn't even matter because it just makes you come off as really preachy and obnoxious. Fuck.
Yeah. And there's also the extremely smug attitude that she's had the entire fucking time. That doesn't fucking help anything.
It does not sit well with me, that's for sure.
Like, even if you were right in all of this, like, that extremely smug attitude would make things so much worse for everybody. Because it shows how fucking snooty and fucking pretentious you are. Which you've been nothing but pretentious this entire time.
Yeah, it comes off as if she has her head up her own ass. Also, I just gotta say, like, the day after she posted these videos, She posted like a picture like by a lake of some like birds or whatever she saw, and she was like the calm after the storm. And
Oh God, fuck you.
you know, it's got that energy of like you know what you're doing. Like you're trying so hard to make it look like you're out of this, you know?
Yeah, like you're finally at peace because you no longer have to deal with this. Meanwhile, everybody else in the voice acting industry is probably going to suffer for years to come thanks to your dumbass.
Yeah.
I mean, truth be told, I don't really know what else to say at this point. I mean, she's been nothing but a complete and total pretentious douchebag about the entire thing. She's been extremely preachy and just unpleasant in regards to the entire endeavor, and on top of also being extremely unprofessional.
Yeah,
And to top it all off, she's clearly been lying because she clearly has a lot of trouble, remembering all of the details, which only adds to the fact that she is most likely lying.
oh, she sure do struggle with that, that's for sure. So yeah, hashtag I stand with Bayonetta.
Hashtag I stand with Bayonetta. And also,
I guess I really am like
hash-
Bayonetta, that more so than I thought.
and also hashtag fuck Camilla.
Yeah. Should I read that? Should I do that thing? I was thinking about
Man,
not doing it.
um, I would say that is entirely up to you. It is a very long thing that you would have to read, but
It's only a couple
if you,
minutes.
yeah, if you feel like you need to get it off your chest and say it, by all means.
So, okay. Let me just let me get my shit together. Hold on. Also, weather's been changing, so I apologize if I sound stumpy. So I decided ahead of this stream. This isn't a stream. This is a S.E.E.S. This is streams. We're not streaming. Anywho, I decided ahead of this. I wanted to give my fucking opinion about Camilla because I've had a lot to say. And I'm sick and tired of sitting on it because this is a reality check that's been a long time coming. If you're a Camilla fanboy who, for some reason, thinks that this lowlife is worth praising beyond his involvement in a handful of, at best, 7 out of 10s, then you're going to want to hit the deck because I'm shooting from the hip full auto. So, I have no reservations. I have no reservations and make no hesitation to say that Hideki Kamiya is one of the biggest low-life wastes of potential in this entire industry. Kamiya, not only are you a complete and total hack that's ridden the coattails of others your entire life, but you are the pinnacle of what it means to completely fail at honing your craft. Despite decades upon generations of opportunities, many much more talented people will simply never get. Your big break, and arguably the very birth of your career, came with the one and only Resident Evil 2, a beloved horror classic that defines the genre to this day. You were lucky enough to be put in the director's chair at a young age, and you had all of the potential in the world to make a great game, but unfortunately you were so damn incompetent that the game had to be scrapped halfway through development and Shinji Mikami had to come in and save your sorry ass and your game. You may be RE2's father, but you sure as hell ain't its daddy. While you were out partying like the cool kid in a leather jacket that you thought you were, Mikami was busting his ass to send RE2 to Horror University. And speaking of leather jackets, let's talk about Devil May Cry, or as I like to call it, your second failed attempt at a Resident Evil game, and not to mention the second time that Mikami had to come in and save your ass. Despite your complete failure to direct Resident Evil 2, you were given a second chance well after this franchise had made a name for itself. Unfortunately, you were trying too hard to play cool, so you were trying so hard to play cool that you forgot to make a fucking Resident Evil game, so Shinji Mikami, who even he, by the way, was telling you to make a decent action game, thought you were getting way too over the top with it, once again had to come in and save your ass. You ended up doing alright. Nothing exceptional, You made Devil May Cry 1, but a decent thumbs up, sure. But at that point, Mikami saw just how much of a fucking loser that you were and still are, so instead of being put at the helm of Devil May Cry 2, you were handed down like the burden you are to projects like Resident Evil Zero, which anyone of sound mind would recognize as your third and hopefully final failure to this franchise. You worked on it as an original designer, then got pawned off to Clover Studios after everyone realized how worthless you were without Mikami there to bail you out. Down at Clover, you directed Beautiful Joe, a series that nobody would even remember if it wasn't for Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and not to mention whose biggest credit was featuring crossover material with Devil May Cry. A franchise, by the way, that despite Devil May Cry 2's failure, would go on to much greener pastures now that you weren't involved. And thank God for that too, because I stutter to think what the franchise would have ended up like with a money-grubbing clown like you who thinks that it should follow the trends set by God of War 2018 at the helm of the design. And for those of you wondering, Kamiya did work on one more game while at Clover Studios, that being Okami, a game that, like Beautiful Joe, would mostly be remembered for its inclusion in a crossover fighting game. And while Kamiya was playing cool with forgettable games after forgettable games, Shinji Mikami, also working at Clover, would go on to create God Hand, one of the most technically impressive and beloved action games ever produced. But then came the big change. Kamiya left Capcom, lucky them, to help found Platinum Games, a studio best known for Bayonetta, a series that was immediately better off once his role in development was reduced to that of supervision. Unfortunately, he is still involved though, which is probably why Bayonetta still hasn't caught up to Devil May Cry, but hey, that's just my guess. So, let's see, what else has Kamiya done at Platinum? Well, he directed The Wonderful 101, a game that launched exclusive to a console that nobody wanted, only now it's a game that despite being on a console almost everyone has, nobody wants, and most don't even remember is even available on. He was also set to direct Scalebound, which, of course, was cancelled. Damn, if only Mikami were there to bail him out again. He also directed Soul Cresta, a game that I'm sure none of you have even heard of, and he supervised Astral Chain, a game that seemed to do pretty well. Now, just imagine how well it would have done without him there. You know, like Devil May Cry. But you know what? At least you're known for being a swell guy in the studio. I mean, everyone in the world thinks that you're a massive piece of shit, but then again, it's hard not to when you openly refer to people who don't speak your native language as unintelligent insects. First of all, Kamiya, anyone who thinks that Devil May Cry should start following in the steps of God of War 2018 has no room to be calling anyone else unintelligent. Second, the most beloved game that you ever directed was single-handedly carried by an English-speaking woman who, by the way, even she recognizes your xenophobic racist bullshit, and she's a Bible thumper that plays a sexy witch who kills angels. You like to think that you have the narrative mind of Hideo Kojima when really you're no better than Tetsuya Nomura. You like to think that you've got the creative power of Hideaki Itsuno, but really you struggle to keep up with Masahiro Sakurai. Hell, I'm sure that you think you're a bigger deal than Shigeru Miyamoto, but as it turns out, you're really about as pivotal to the gaming industry as a Konami executive. You're a fucking leech that might have had a good couple of ideas here and there, but you've constantly ridden the backs of people way more talented than you who've constantly had to pick up your slack. Hideki Kamiya, you're not Hideaki Itsuno, you're not Hideo Kojima, you're no Shigeru Miyamoto, and you're damn sure no Shinji Mikami. Hell, Tetsuya Nomura and Masahiro Sakurai have done more for this industry than you ever have and ever will. You are a shameless, bigoted, incompetent, self-absorbed parasite that would never have made it past his role as a system planner for Resident Evil almost 3 decades ago were it not for the kind-hearted, hard-working, and far more talented individuals that paved the roads you walked just so you could turn around and claim was yours. You are the very definition of what it means to be a hack, and as far as I'm concerned, are not welcome in this industry. Fuck you. So anyways, I'm going to buy Bayonetta 3 and I hope it's really good.
I would do the same had I a Switch, but my inability to play it is definitely not due to a boycott. That's for damn sure.
That's fair. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. I might post that as its own clip. Because goddamn, did it feel good.
Oh, I can only imagine.
I do not like Hideki Kamiya.
Yeah, truth be told, I don't like Hideki Kamiya either. I used to respect him for his work on Devil May Cry, but truth be told, I don't think that it was necessarily. I don't know. I have a lot of trouble praising a man who is as flagrantly dismissive and, as we've stated before, xenophobic towards people who simply are not like him. And while it is not racist, technically, um, I would say that it still, to an extent, goes hand in hand. When you call people insects because they're not like you, it's not a good look, no matter whether or not it's classified as xenophobia, racism, or whatever else have you. Um, Either way, he's a fuckhead, and he may be behind some decent games, but I don't have to respect him as a person because of it. And anybody out there who has decided that they're suddenly going to turn on Kamiya when they have done nothing but praise him and support him for years, I just want you to know that's a very crocky thing to do. That's not to say nobody can change their minds. Everybody can, but when you do it on a dime, just because one person happens to try and take some sort of moral high ground, it makes you look worse. I'm okay with people standing for their beliefs and help changing them, but
Yep.
this has sort of shown that people are more willing to change their beliefs if it means that they can get on what they view to be the right side of history. Even when the supposed right side of history turns out to be completely and totally fabricated and lying, pretentious, smug, and just generally douchey, as Helena Taylor is.
Yeah, I'm all for changing your mind at the reception of new information that you consider important. Like, if you tell a small child, hey, this Hitler guy, he was willing to do a lot of things for his country, their immediate reaction would probably be like, oh, wow, he's like a hero, right? Then you tell them the other things, they're like, oh, he's not a hero, he's a piece of shit. That kind of thing, I understand changing your mind about, but I just cannot get behind these people who just completely ignored and even made jokes about his fucking xenophobia for so many years, only to be like, "Wow, you gave your voice actress a bad offer. Wow, you fuck nobody be like him." That's fucking god.
It comes off as very.
It makes you look like a clown, is what it does.
Yeah, it comes off as if you also have no spine if you're willing to change your views that hard, that suddenly. And
Yeah,
only because of the fact that new information has come out about them.
yeah.
Well, okay, maybe I shouldn't phrase it that way.
Nobody
It's
nobody likes a flip flopper. That's all there is to it, really.
yeah. I suppose the better way to phrase it would be like, if it comes out that there is verifiable information about somebody being a piece of shit that you liked before and you're like, well, shit, I just don't vibe with them anymore. I guess. Fuck that. That's fine. But when you've been praising somebody whom there is proof of being a piece of shit for years, and then somebody comes out and decides to morally grandstand, and then you finally change your views on them, and it's not even about the thing that they were doing that was a piece of shit in the first place, it's just not a good look.
And it makes it look like you just don't care about the other thing, which is
Yeah.
in this particular case not something that I think people should have been avoiding.
Yeah.
Like, look, I'm not a very preachy person. I'm not going to sit here and talk to you about social justiceisms 99% of the time, unless you like ask me my opinion about it or bring it up. But like, I just cannot fucking understand anyone who would get behind such a fucking bigoted piece of shit.
Yeah. There's a difference between preaching social justice and,
I'm
you
and
know,
I don't do this very often. I I did this before, so people are gonna call me on my shit, which is fair. But I don't like the whole, oh, well, if it were a white person or whatever thing. But seriously, fucking imagine if this
oh,
was a
absolutely.
game director who was white and they were like if they were blocking
All right.
free anyone speaking to them in Spanish and calling them
All right.
brainless insects. Like, fuck that.
All right. All right. I want you to imagine Neil Druckmann. All right, calling, everybody's fucking god apparently, just calling a bunch of Spanish people insects because at least assuming Neil Druckmann is white, I think he is.
Oh, he's Israeli Canadian, I think,
Never mind.
or Israeli American.
But yeah,
Either way, I get the point.
But yeah, yeah, I get the point. If any white director had been calling a bunch of people insects because they didn't speak his language, nobody would stand for it. But Kamiya is Japanese, so for some reason it's seen as charming and quirky, and oh no, that's just Kamiya being Kamiya. Fuck you.
And it comes off with the same energy as people who excuse, like, the very real problems of, like, legitimate fucking racism over in Japan, where they're like, oh yeah, it's just they're not, they haven't caught up yet. I'm like, what? Like, what the fuck? They haven't caught up. Like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah. If anything, that just makes it worse because you're saying that their intelligence is lesser.
Not only that, but I'm sorry, if you live in a first world nation and have access to the internet and you're a racist, then you're a fucking asshole. There's no other way about it.
Yeah. And Kamiya is one such fucking asshole.
He's
huge
asshole.
Call a spade a spade. He's a fucking, like, if he's not racist, then he's at least horrendously xenophobic. To the point that it becomes, like, it's not something that you can just stand by.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care what he's contributed to the gaming industry. He's still being a terrible person.
Yeah,
like,
and just this whole... Again, trying to take the high ground on, in comparison to xenophobia, a pretty fucking minor issue, even if Hellena Taylor were right. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But again, like El said, it's not something that either of us would do often, but just fucking imagine if a worker said that.
Yeah,
imagine how
this is
pissed
one of
people
those
would be.
actually worth considering scenarios.
Yeah. And rightfully so, everyone would stop standing by them. And again, completely rightfully so. That is a terrible thing to say to anybody. I don't care who you are or where you're from. For me, it's no different if anybody else would say it. It's shitty when Kamiya says it. It's shitty when anybody else says it. Stop defending. He's a prick. He doesn't need you to be defending him or simping for him. Trust me, he gets paid just fine.
Yeah, and also, let's be real, he doesn't give a fuck whether or not you defend him. Which is a perfectly fine attitude to have. I'm not giving him shit for it. I'm just saying he doesn't give a fuck.
Absolutely. Like, it's perfectly fine if he doesn't give a fuck when anybody thinks about him or defends him. But, like, stop defending him. Because he doesn't really deserve it. Like, I'm sorry, but, it's one thing to be like, okay, so, alright, he's just somebody who's very stern and very set in his ways, and he's very particular about his views. Fine. Not for me, but no smoke towards them. And it's another thing entirely to be like, oh god, all these fucking insects messaging me in English.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry.
He's a
It's
dick.
just, it crosses a very harsh line. And I don't think it's unreasonable to say that that's the case. But yeah, so that's the Bayonetta controversy in a neatly wrapped nutshell.
Closing statements, Mr. Belmont?
Yeah, so this entire situation has kind of been like The Last Jedi in terms of figuring out who the shitty critics are. But in this case, it's shown us who the crocs are, who don't really have very strong morals, and whose views and morals are capable of changing at the drop of a dime.
Yeah.
Susie Sphere Hunter, I love you. You gotta stop putting out these head-ass takes. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I said it before. I say it as someone who respects her. Like, It was so fucking. I was mind boggled by how head ass it was.
Yeah. Um,
It fucked with my head.
but yeah, there's nothing wrong with standing for your views. I think that you just have to consider who your views hurt when you do stand and what kind of views it is that you're willing to stand for. Camilla being xenophobic, gotta be honest, not willing to stand for it. Helena Taylor very clearly lying and potentially fucking up the entire voice acting industry for so many people. Yeah, no, I don't vibe with that either. They're both shitty people.
It's hard to vibe with. I'm gonna be real with you, gentlemen and ladies.
Yeah, they're both very shitty people. I don't support either of them. And if I ever bought Bayonetta 3, it's not for Camilla, it's for all of the other hardworking people who poured their blood, sweat, and tears into um, making it.
Yeah.
Because, you know,
I can play his games without giving a fuck about him,
absolutely.
and I do. I don't give a fuck about him.
So, that being said, I personally don't have anything else to say about the situation.
Big think. Oh, I didn't give the word of the day. Hold on.
What is it?
Let me pull this up. Because
Please say quickly what I missed.
last time it was osteokinesis. Do you remember what osteokinesis means, Luce?
Admittedly enough, I do not, but I can look it up real quick so that we can remember the
Wow.
previous word of the day.
Luce wasn't paying attention.
Osteokinesis.
How dare you? Did you find it?
What was it again? It's not showing. It's apparently showing that osteokinesis is not a word.
Osteokinesis is a word. It refers to the superpower in which one can move their bones at will.
Okay. So
Osteo referring to bones and kinesis referring to movement.
Okay, weird. All right. Yeah, I did get that result, but for whatever reason, Google was telling me that wasn't a real word.
Weird.
Anyway, what is this week's word of the week?
The S.E.E.S 15 word of the week. Even though this is coming out the same week as the S.E.E.S 14, but I fucking ignore that. We have the most inconsistent upload schedule ever. It's okay.
Yeah, boy.
So the word of the day is balter. The definition is dancing clumsily without any particular grace or skill, but usually with enjoyment. So, an example of this being used in a sentence. Luce doesn't know how to dance, so instead he balters, hoping with an ever-waning spirit that he may yet get to suck her cock.